I rank where the view is nothing less than phenomenal. For how I express and project from my abdominal. The only view better, both my daddy and my mama know. No living parents, my sons give me balance. My wife is my serenity, this mic is my identity. The world is foul enough, that's why I write without obscenities. Provoking danger with broken language and spoken anguish. Begging to get hurt, why would you ask to go through changes? Yes, Lord, life's a chessboard, master the angles. Control the tempo, be the one who holds the info. Acknowledge is just as deadly as machete swings. When spoken, the truth is as potent as that Medellin. While others swear the style is free, I just let it ring. Our time is undervalued, soldiers make us better kings. My fam's on my shoulder, reaching after better things. Today I take the shot, for them I'd rather set the screen.
My mama told me follow my dreams. My daddy told me get it by any means. Stand tall, make him bow to a king. But I've evolved, you can see the resolve. Look in my eyes when you speaking to God.
Life and for those who we caught up in using what I was scarred with the muse. I guess they call it proving I'm more than an artist. Penciling out my darkest while sizzling out a harvest. And storing what gets me from A to B, just like garages. Instrumental with collages. Envision what I've been drawing. Broadway to give you rhythm like the great Lena Horne. So bent on, found comfort in the storm. Find peace and on when you see them others perform. Organized chaos.
Welcome to the Knicks at Night podcast. What's good? I'm your man's Uncle Freezy. What's good? What's good? What's good? You know what I mean? Rocking the Blorange tears gear. What's good? What's good? What's good, party people? How y'all tonight? Yes, I'm on the road. I am in a place called Charlotte, North Carolina. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me pretty good? Can y'all hear me pretty good? Yeah, what's good? Robert Paul, what's good? What's good? Man, I've been having conversations with people in the Blorange Tears universe for a while. I mean, not for a while, but I mean today, this evening, been chopping it up with people. Yeah, and so things have been, along that, having little conversations. What's good? Felipe 210, what's good? Dominic, what's good? Kane Jerry is in the building. What's good? What's good? What's good? Yeah, man. What's good? Yeah, man. I'll put it. I'm going to type it in the chat. Y'all see that? Foy Trey, what's happening? What's good? What's good? Yeah, man, that merch was good. It was good. It's like a 3X. It's a little bit big, but whatever. Whatever, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to rock my stuff. I'm going to rock our joints. You know what I'm saying? What's good, man? It's good to see y'all. It's good to see y'all. You know what I'm saying? So I got some things that I wanted to kind of talk to y'all about. Just a few things, man. Got like a few things I want to talk about. Like, hey, salute to the mods. Yeah, salute to the mods, yo. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Eli M. Smash that like button. If you see a like button, beat it up. Subscribe to the channel. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. My lagging hotel Wi-Fi. Yeah. I can't help that, yo. You know what I'm saying? I could do it from this, but y'all already know. You already know. I'm more impressed by the fact that I'm on time. Morocco Joe, what's good? Yo, what's good, Joe? What's happening? Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Rocking and rolling. Can you hear me pretty good? I don't know how good the sound quality is because it's my first time doing it. First, you know what I'm saying? I'll be here tomorrow also. Um, tomorrow at 9 p.m. I'll be on let me see, let me try something. Okay. So tomorrow at 9 p.m. I'll be on Guard Up Knicks with the GUK guys at 9 before I jump on and do the Knicks at Night podcast tomorrow night. You know what I'm saying? You got me some coffee. You know what I mean? Andy Garcia, Black Rain is in the building. What's good? What's good? What's good? Oh, good, good, good. Lucky Walker Visions was good. Good. So I got a few things I wanted to talk to y'all about. So the question is, yeah, appreciate that, Black University. Appreciate that. Yeah, appreciate that. Um, so here's the thing. The Knicks have 16 draft picks in the next 3 seasons. Chris Chang is in the building. What's good? My brother from another mother's in the building, Chris Chang. What's good? So it's going to be me tonight, right? So it's going to be me. Amar is coming through for a little bit to chop it up. You know what I'm saying? City for Real has a family emergency that he had to take care of, so he won't be in tonight. Hoodie Kev is being posh somewhere, and he hate when I say that. Why you call me posh, Uncle Freezy? Uncle Freezy be calling me posh. Nah, man, the Hoodie Kev got some his Bentley. Okay, so Hoodie Kev's Bentley. So Hoodie Kev, his Bentley is in the shop, and he didn't get a replacement vehicle for it. Amar, what's good?
What's up, Bonk? How you doing?
Man, I'm great. It's good to see you, man.
Good to see you as well.
Yeah, man, I'm excited, man. I was looking forward to this day, man. I'm excited to have you back on the show.
Yeah, I'm
Man,
excited to be back.
everybody, they was rocking with you last time. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
For sure.
I appreciate the
Yeah,
love.
man. Yo, so chat, put some fire and some thumbs up in the chat for our guy Amar. From the Next Time podcast. Y'all show y'all love for our guy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure y'all do that. Y'all know how we rock. Yo, Anudi 25 is in the building. What's good? What is good? Yeah, man. Y'all show some love in the chat for Amar, man. Y'all do that. Y'all do that. Definitely. Bro, so Amar, did you know? First of all, welcome back to the joint.
Thank you. Thank you.
Did you know the Knicks had 16 draft picks in the next 3 drafts?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know they got 5 firsts and then a boatload of seconds that they picked up on some pretty good deals, too, like the deal that we flipped with Minnesota. I can't remember who we gave. The guy just passed in traffic, you know what I mean? But they ended up giving us a second for him.
Right.
And we got a lot of seconds. Like we got Detroit's second round pick, which is pretty much like a first round pick this year in a really deep draft. We're gonna have 2 pretty decent picks. Like we're gonna come between 16 and 22, I'd say.
Yeah.
And like that's a pretty attractive package. Like in order to move up, maybe into the top 10, because the top 10 is stacked this year with talent. It's not like the draft last year. You know what I mean? So.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Bro. So we have 8 second round picks in 2023. 8.
Crazy, man. They can't draft all those. They got to ship those out on a different deal, but it's still
Yeah,
nice to have assets, right? When's the
right,
last time we had that many picks?
right, right. And so we can learn from our division rival on how not to do it. Boston had a whole bunch of first round picks, and they
Yeah.
basically let their fruit rot on the vine,
Hmm.
right? And so what we can do is a year out is um, use those draft picks to trade up in this draft.
Yeah.
Because we picked 19. We picked 19. Our pick is 19. The Mavericks
Yeah.
pick is 21.
21. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
we can take a bunch of second round picks and move those picks up in this year's draft. I would say 2 or 3, maybe 4 is maybe a push, but maybe 4 second round picks can get you up into the 12 to 14 area, 12 to 15 area.
I even think like if we packaged 1921 and Detroit's second round pick, I'd say that would get us in the top 10 for a team that doesn't really want to add somebody with that much salary. You see it all the time, right? Like guys will trade their top 10
Oh,
picks because it's the salary scale
yeah,
different, right? So like
right,
if teams are kind of strapped, what they'll do is they'll trade for like lower first round picks. That way that their rookie scale is a little bit lower, and they won't take that kind
right,
of contract. And like those are the better teams. Like, and that said, like if a team's in love with a player, they won't trade their pick, right? But you see it all the time. Like even I believe the Clippers had 2 picks, and they did that a couple of years back as well. I think they were mid-teens. It happens a lot. Boston's done it a boatload of times. They've just stacked up more assets because they don't want to pick up people with a little bit more salary in that first half of the lottery there.
right, right,
But
right.
one thing to kind of keep in mind though is that we might not be drafting those picks, right? We might ship those picks out elsewhere,
Right,
right?
right,
Like
right.
the trade winds are swirling. You know what I mean? Like,
No doubt, no doubt.
yeah.
So who do you have in mind?
Well, I know everybody's gonna look at Dame Lillard as a guy who they covet. Me personally, like I love Lillard. I would not sell that farm for him unless I knew there was another guy coming with him. It
Right,
would be kind of Carmelo-esque if we did that. You know what I mean?
right,
If we weren't willing to give up that many assets for James Harden, who's a MVP candidate year in and year out, then I would be hesitant to give up that kind of package for Dame Lillard, who's a great player. Don't get me wrong, but I don't think he pushes us over the top by himself with just Lillard and Randall.
no.
Hmm.
So just to piggyback off that, right?
Yeah,
I have a polarizing opinion about Damian Lillard, right?
yeah,
So I like Damian Lillard as a person. I love him as a player. His resume, though, puts me in a odd feeling because I feel like if you can't um, advance your own franchise, the franchise that drafted you, if you can't advance that franchise when they poured every asset that they have and resources that they have in order to help build a contender around you, I don't feel like the Knicks should trade the whole kit and caboodle for him and hoping that he can do it in a front with a franchise that doesn't have a recent history of playoff success. You
yeah,
know
and
what
I
I mean?
agree. I agree, and like to an extent, like it's not really his fault. Like they've had like Terry Stotts hasn't done a really good job the last couple of years either, in terms of his rotations and what he's kind of done there defensively. They're terrible. But
Right.
what do you expect when your best 2 players are 2 undersized guards, right? Like who don't play
Right.
defense,
Who don't play D.
so don't
Right.
play D, right? And they don't have a lot of guys. Like they brought in Robert Covington this year, but it's only so much that one guy like Covington's a good role player, but he's not going to anchor your defense, right? He'll
Right.
he'll be he'll be a guy who's a good, like a Jay Crowder on the Suns. You know what I mean? Like a guy who will add to your defense. If you have already a great team defense, he won't be a guy who will anchor it like a Draymond or a Gobert or something like that. So I find like with Portland, it's a weird situation. If I was them, I'd move on Lillard real quick because, like you said, his resume isn't that great. Like the conference finals 1 year, every other year, either out of the playoffs or first round exits. So
Right.
he's 31 years old, and
Right.
who knows how many miles he has left on that body. So
Right. Right. And you trade the entire kit and caboodle for him, and
yeah,
he comes here, and then he gets the same results. And now you're in a situation where you have a 33, 34-year-old point guard with a bunch of miles on him, with limited playoff success, and he's got you to the same place that you would have gotten if you hadn't pulled off the deal.
exactly, right. And like I said, it's going to be very similar to the Carmelo Anthony situation where we gave up Gallo, Wilson Chandler, Mozgov, all the first round picks, to bring him
Right.
in, and we didn't have anybody else around to support him, right? Like we brought in Amari thinking that he would be the guy, but he definitely wasn't. He was on the tail end of
Right.
his career. I wouldn't make that deal for Lillard unless we knew a Kawhi was coming with him or another great player to kind of anchor with him. Like I
Right.
said, if you're not going to trade all those assets for James Harden or even Anthony Davis last year, then why waste it with Damian Lillard at this point?
I would say the only way I pull off the Damian Lillard deal is if I already have executed a trade for Zach LaVine or Bradley Beal, right? If
Yeah,
I already have a deal completed for Zach LaVine or Bradley Beal, and I still have Julius Randle, then I look to maybe pull off the deal for Damian Lillard, and that way it gives you a big three that can at least go to bed. Did you see the Philly Hawks game tonight?
I caught a little bit of it, not too much. I actually was hooping myself, so I didn't catch all of
Okay.
it. But yeah, how'd they do?
Yeah. So Philly smashed the Hawks, right? But
Yeah,
the thing about it is Philly rolled out a legit big three against a team that had a potential big three, right?
yeah,
Like the Hawks, they have Trae Young, John Collins shows up every now and then. Bogdanovich may show up against the right matchup.
yeah,
Capella against a team without a center looks good, but they don't have a big three, right? And
yeah,
so Philly went out and they got a 14-point lead without Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons even shooting the basketball,
yeah,
right? That's
yeah,
because they have a supporting cast in tow, right? And so
yeah,
it goes to your point. It goes to your point. If we get Dame Lillard, right? If we acquire Dame Lillard, will our supporting cast be able to run out to a big lead against a team without even using Damian Lillard? I
yeah.
don't think so.
No,
I,
definitely
I,
not. I think the issue with bringing in Lillard on his own is one, as much as I do, like the pressure that will be in New York for him, right? And I'm not sure if he's willing. Like I said, great player, great guy, the great team guy as well. But he's not a guy who's going to take us over the top currently with our current roster. I find like there's other stopgaps that we could take at this point and keep our assets, who would probably get us to the right spot or the same result as we would right now, right? Like a couple of guys that I was kind of thinking and looking at them will probably be available. A sneaky good pickup would be a guy like Malcolm Brogdon, right? A guy,
right,
he's making about $21 million a year, really reasonable contract, can play defense, can shoot the ball, distribute the ball, plays point guard. He played really well against us this year as well, and like he had a pretty good year. And it seems like Indiana's trying to move up off of him, right? And he has 2 years left on that
right,
deal. That's more of a manageable deal where I'd give up a first round pick, and
right.
take on Malcolm Brogdon. Another guy who might not be as favorable, you could probably get an asset with him, is Kemba Walker, right?
Mm,
He's like a little bit worse version of Damian Lillard, but that said, like he's injury prone as well,
right, right.
right? There-
And so
And
he
then,
has what, 2 years left on his deal?
On who? Sorry, Kemba or Brogdon?
Yes, Kemba.
Kemba, I believe, has 2 years left on his deal this year, and then a player option. He's close to max money, and then Brogdon has 2 years left at around 21, 22 mil. And then, of course, there's the other option of going for CP3, giving him that big 3-year deal that he's looking for in the 100 million mark and hope that he doesn't get injured in 3 years, right? And he could be pretty good for us next year, but who knows? If Phoenix goes far this year, that might not even be a conversation.
Right. Yeah, man. So we have a number of options available to us this offseason. And the funny thing is, we don't necessarily have to make a major move this offseason because of what the 22 offseason looks like.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Like a couple other guys, like nobody's even talking about really, that you could probably give them a big 1-year deal and they'll come for a year. Like a guy like Kyle Lowry that we had in a trade years ago with Toronto, like when Dolan turned down, I think it was at the time, Tim Hardaway Jr. And a first round pick for Kyle Lowry. We actually sent the first round pick after for Andrea Bargnani, I think. But Lowry's a guy who, even at 35, he'd be a great addition to his team. Defends, shoots the ball. He'd be a poor man's version of Chris Paul at this point for us, right? And if we can get him on a 1-year deal, even Mike Conley out of Utah, get him on a 1-year deal. I know people are looking at guys like Lonzo as well, but I feel like Lonzo will be expensive. We might not want to give up enough for him, but he would fit the mold of the team, right? He's a younger guy as well, but there are a ton of options. And you look across the river, right? Spencer Dinwiddie is going to be a free agent too.
Yeah. I think the sky's the limit when it comes to
for sure
player acquisition, right?
Yeah.
But I'll tell you where I think the sneaky gold mine this year to me is the NBA draft.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think you can get a Kelly Oubre type player out of this year's draft with that type of production right away. Let's say 43% from the field, 32% from three, athletic wing defenders, maybe in a Scotty Barnes or a Jalen Johnson.
For sure. And then like a guy like Sharif Cooper, who probably is going late, I'd say 8 to 10, maybe 8 to 12, somewhere around there. That's a guy we could trade up for as well and solve our point guard problem, right? Like, I think everybody knows there's some glaring issues at point guard and small forward or whatever wing RJ's not playing, and then center is something that we kind of got to figure out as well, because we got to either commit to Mitch at this point or move him in a deal for somebody else.
Right. I think the solution for this offseason depends on what the goal of the organization is. Are we looking to continue to refurbish the roster with cheap talent, like through the draft and young veterans? Or are we looking to dam the torpedoes and shoot for an NBA title? Because to me, you can do both at the same time, but you don't necessarily get the desired results. Like this year. This year, the Knicks won 41 games, made the playoffs, and going into the playoffs, maybe 10 or so games before the end of the season, the Knicks looked like they could challenge for the second round. But injuries, ineptness at the center position, some things made us, realize that there are some places, some spots on the roster that needs to be upgraded. Like for instance, Taj Gibson is not a starting NBA center at all.
Taj Gibson probably isn't a rotational player at the NBA right now.
No.
For a contending team, at least, right?
Yeah, I would say Taj Gibson is your third center and your third power forward on your roster.
Yeah.
Because what you ultimately, for a guy that's undersized, that lacks athleticism, that lacks verticality, and can't spread the floor with a jump shot, you'd at least like for him to bring something to an NBA game aside from hustle. because there are a million guys that you can pick up off the street that play hard, that'll play
Yeah.
hard for you. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
I think it's important to surround the young guys with good vets like Taj, but maybe not play them to the extent that we played them this year, right? Like I know Miami keeps UD around every single year, right? Udonis Haslam,
right,
just because he's a great
right,
locker room guy. He
right,
keeps the rookies and all the young guys in check, right? But he's not playing or starting a playoff game, right? Like
right.
he's not playing 25 minutes of a playoff game in the first round of the NBA
No,
playoffs, right? I think that's our biggest thing. And to go back to your point of where we're at, I don't think we're a contender yet. I think the
no.
playoffs kind of really showed us that we're a little bit behind on that front. Are we a lot farther ahead than we were a year ago? Definitely.
Yeah,
And like I said, sky is the limit in terms of cap space, draft picks, young players, assets that we have in order to move in a deal. But it's got to be the right deal, right? We can't make the same mistakes that we've made in past,
yeah,
where we just bring in a big star and then hope that the guy, you know, does everything himself at that point and takes us to the next level, because it didn't work with Carmelo, and Carmelo was a hell of a basketball player, right? Like he was a hell of a basketball player, but still with Carmelo we only made it to the second round.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So let me ask. So in your opinion, well, let me ask this first. Let me speculate and get you wrapped up in some weird early off-season speculation.
Yeah.
So what do you think the Knicks front office goal is for next season, based off of what you've seen so far?
Honestly, I think there, from what I've seen from Leon Rose so far, is that that he's not going to overreact to anything. He's not going to jump the gun and try to bring guys on, or make rush deals like we did in the past when we signed Tim Hardaway to that ridiculous contract, or when we traded that first round pick for Andrea Bargnani and try to get something going that wasn't there. As you can see, like, bar inactivity on the trade market this year, right? Even at the
Right,
deadline, when we knew that we had a shot at the playoffs, they didn't really do much because they didn't want to give up assets, because they were realistic on where this team was, right? Like it was a nice story. We were a good story this year, right? Like
right,
we weren't supposed to be there. We were playing with house money. They wanted to go into the playoffs, hopefully try to win a round against Atlanta, but I think even the most optimistic Knicks fan didn't see us coming out of the second round at most this year,
right, right.
right? So
Especially after watching Philly tonight.
yeah, Philly would have destroyed us. Embiid would have had his way with us in the paint. He would have
Right,
controlled the game, right? So I
right,
feel we're at a kind of a spot, and I know everybody kind of goes back to this, and this is where I was at the beginning of this year, and we've achieved it. Like, look at the blueprint that Brooklyn had 2 years ago, right? They had one good young player in D'Angelo Russell, and they had a good coach in Kenny Atkinson, who they let go now, but they surprised everybody and ended up making the playoffs that year. I think it was a fifth or sixth seed, and they did lose in the first round, but they showed that they were a competent franchise, right? And I think the biggest issue with our team over the last 5 or 6, 7 years in free agency, when we strike out on all the big guys, is that nobody believes that our front office is capable of constructing a championship team, and that we're just a joke, right? Like, we're always the team that was used in order to leverage more money for other guys,
right,
right? So I feel we've shown that we're competent, we're patient, we have assets, we have good young players, right? And I think at this point, this is where you spend money, or you try to attract that star player. You try to say, hey, listen, we're building something big here. You can come to MSG, the greatest arena in the world, and try to win a championship. Like, go to Kawhi if the Clippers lose, and try to bring a guy like Kawhi over, or even next year on the free agent class. That's we got some good players coming out, right? Like, I think that's is where you utilize the cap space in the right way, just like Brooklyn did with Kyrie and KD. Obviously, like, that's a given,
right,
and then they
right,
use their assets in order to trade for James Harden.
right,
So I think, like, our path is kind of similar, where we need to bring in a star player with that cap space, and then use our assets to bring in a second star, right? And then have Julius Randle kind of be that second, third option on the team, extend him, bring him along. And hopefully in that deal, we don't give up RJ and he comes along to be, a guy similar to DeMar DeRozan throughout his career, a very solid 20 to 25 point scorer who can do a little bit of everything, get you some assists and, defend hard, be a pretty good player.
Right. So what star would you target?
I mean, like for our current squad, like I feel like Kawhi would really fit the bill here, just in terms of how we defend, how we play, just how Tibbs game plans and his strategy. I think it's kind of right down Kawhi's alley, right? And I feel like with the role players that we have in the supporting cast, that we could get a guy like Kawhi and then maybe use the rest of our assets for a good point guard like Damian Lillard. Like that's a Eastern Conference Finals team, at least.
Yes.
I'd say like that's we're battling Brooklyn at that point, right? I think that pushes us pretty close to the top of the East with those two guys. That said, like that is kind of wishful thinking at this point, because we've had it all through the years, through KD, through Kyrie, through LeBron twice, you name it, Greg Monroe.
Yeah,
when we all thought we were going to sign Greg Monroe, we haven't been really active in the free agent market. So but like I said, I think with the new front office and the new coaching staff and the players that we have here, we got a pretty good thing going.
Yeah, you're exactly right there. So shout out to Clutch B-Ball TV. Shout out to Mixed Sports. I see you. I see it's a bunch of Knicks content creators and Knicks Universe guys in the chat, man. Shout out to y'all for stopping through. Just wanted to ISO a little bit with Amar about what he thinks about roster moves and things of that sort. I have a question for you, and it's more of from a coaching perspective, a coaching and development perspective. Where do you see Emmanuel Quickly, Obi Toppin, RJ Barrett, Kevin Knox, Mitchell Robinson? Where do you see their development paths going? And is their ceiling, so to speak, high enough for you to keep them around and not include them in a trade for a superstar?
I want to start off by saying that as a coach, you have a tendency to have a preference for a certain type of player. And that goes through, like you can tell even with our roster this year, the guys who played versus the guys who didn't. A guy like Kevin Knox, I don't feel like there's a future for him in New York, just based on the way that he does play. Too many mistakes. Just too many. He is super skilled, don't get me wrong, and that's probably one guy that might come back to bite us in the ass in the right situation. But just here, the way that he plays, I don't feel like we're going to give him a long enough leash in order to develop into something that we can use. I'd say like he's probably the first guy out this offseason in a deal. Frank is kind of interesting in the sense that he is naturally like a Tom Thibodeau type player. He's a hard-nosed defender. He's an on-ball defender, which we don't have many of. That can kind of stop the ball, especially opposing point guards in this league. Who we all know it's a guard-driven league at this point, so you need perimeter defenders. I think he's another guy who maybe could step up if we didn't re-sign Reggie Bullock or Alec Burks. There'd be a bigger role for Frank next year. Especially if Bullock goes, because I could see Frank, because I think at this point it's all pretty clear to us that Frank's not a point guard, right? He's not a natural point guard, especially in the offensive sense. He's more of a guy who can get out there, defend, and if we do have a smaller point guard, he can come out and play shooting guard and guard the other team's a bigger guard, similar to like what Eric Snow used to do for Allen Iverson back in the day, right? Eric Snow would take the bigger guard and leaving AI with the kind of, the better matchup. So if we did have a guy like Kemba or Dame Lillard, like a guy like Frank would be nice to have, because he's so long and lanky that I see a kind of a path to playing time for him. Kevin Knox, like going back to him, it's like he's boom or bust, right? Like he's either going to give you 15 or 20 points, or he's going to give you, 2 for 10 shooting and then a bunch of mental lapses on defense and missed assignments, right? And I just don't feel like he has a long enough leash in New York in order to make those mistakes at this point, because now we are like a competing team. To go back to Mitch, yeah, right? To go back to Mitch, I feel like a decision needs to be made on him this offseason, because it's been kind of 2 years now where we've halfway committed to him, halfway committed to playing him as a starter, bringing him off the bench. And he hasn't really done much, I'd say, in the offseason to develop more of his perimeter game. And you know yourself, like, there's not very many bigs in this league that can't shoot anymore and come out and defend the pick and roll, right? So with Mitch, I could see him kind of in that Clint Capella role that fills the Hawks, right? But you got to have a good point guard for that guy to be effective on the offensive end. Otherwise, he's really killing your spacing on offense. Like you saw Nerlens Noel this year on offense was terrible because he's just killing the floor spacing. So either Mitch has got to develop a little bit more to his game, or we got to fully commit and get a point guard in here who can make him better. At this point, defensively, we know what we're gonna get from him, like the block shots, the help side defense. But I also feel like he really needs to get stronger, really needs to get better. Like a couple of games earlier on this year when we played the Cavs, and just a guy like Andre Drummond was having his way with Mitch down low. It's hard to see. Yeah, it's hard to see. And like a guy like if we
and it wasn't
gonna
just
be
him,
serious,
it was JaVale McGee. It was JaVale McGee too.
Yeah. JaVale McGee, and like that's not even mentioning a guy like Joel Embiid. Like, what would he do to him in a playoff series over a 7-game stretch, right?
Yeah.
Like that. Those are serious questions that need to be answered in terms of Mitch. But out of all the guys that we have, like I'm a little bit worried about Obi as well, because he is a little bit older, right? Obi's naturally, I think he's turning 24 next year, so he's older than Knox, he's older than Frank, he's older than Quick, he's older than RJ. Right. So I feel that his development has to come quicker than theirs. And there's obviously great flashes this year, especially in the postseason. Like he showed a little bit more, but his handle is a little bit loose on the offensive end. His jump shot's inconsistent. He just really doesn't have a good feel or good sense on offense at this point, where, like you watch Emmanuel quickly play offense in this league, and he can find his way around. He gets to his spots. He hits his floater. He sets up that shot for the foul pretty well. Like he plays a little bit with a little bit of confidence. Like Obi doesn't play with that confidence yet. I don't think he really knows what he is yet at the NBA level. And of course, like he's got to get way better on the defensive end, especially laterally. Like his lateral movement's pretty bad.
He had 2 block shots all year.
Yeah, which is crazy considering his athleticism, right? But I find that laterally, like his lateral athleticism is terrible. Like off the dribble guys beat him quite often, and like that was his problem at Dayton as well, right? That was his flaw coming out of college. But I was actually surprised offensively how unpolished his game was, because we were sold on like a guy who could come in ready, give you buckets. I was expecting at least like a 10, 12-point guy at least off the bench this year. A lot of guys at the beginning of the year were saying that Obi would unseat Julius Randle for that starting power forward spot, and it wasn't even a competition, right?
Right. I disagree a little bit with Obi, and the reason why I disagree with Obi is because when someone is exceptionally skilled, and you have guys around you that have a calling card, then sometimes it's like, say you rap and you ask me to sing your hooks, right? And your bars are fire, but then when it comes to me singing a hook, I sound terrible. This whole song is trash. It doesn't matter how good your part is, and it makes everybody. And so I say that to say this: when Obi plays against, because I believe in Obi Toppin's offensive IQ. Like I can see that he is analyzing things on the fly. Like he's like, why is Kevin Knox in a dunker spot? Why is Reggie Bullock, isoed on the other side? You know what I'm saying? He's looking at these things, sorry, just to
add to your point there, like off ball, like his IQ is great. Like he's a great
Right.
cutter off ball. He's good
Right.
at getting to like spots on the floor, getting to open spots. Like I really like him in that role at this point. Where
Right.
I see that he kind of lacks is as a one-on-one offensive player. He doesn't really have the quickness to
Go-to
beat you off the
moves.
dribble, and like his shot isn't consistent enough for people to respect it enough that he can get past, right? And then back to the basket, he's also very, you know, erratic in that sense too, right? Like how many games do we see like, and that just travels across. Like if you're not playing well, it showed for a while. He had zero confidence, right? Like he was
Right.
afraid to. He a lot of the times, I'd say in the last stretch of like 20 games, he wasn't looking at the basket even when he caught the ball. He was just looking to dish it off to the next guy, right? So I think that's where he's got to kind of develop his game and on work
Right.
on that. But off ball, like his IQ is great. He's a good
Right.
passer for
Right.
his size as well. Like I really like how he
Right.
plays in that. But if we had like he plays well with Derrick Rose off the bench. Like Derrick Rose is
Right.
finding him, giving him the ball in the right spots. If we could get a better point guard, it'd make him look a lot better as well. Get him some
Right.
easier shots, right? Because
Right.
at this point, he's not ready. He's not ready as a one-on-one player to kind of to give you that offense.
Right. Okay, I'll give you an example. Right. So I watched Obi a lot, and the baseline 18-footer, if he could knock that down, he would have scored at least 6 more points a game. Right.
Yeah,
But in the Knicks offense, though, that corner guy is not expected to knock down 18-footers, but knock down the corner three. Right.
yeah,
And so you see Knox in that role, thrive in that corner three role off the out of the pick and roll, right? But then with Obi, when you run the pick and roll, and say the role defender is squaring up to not allow Obi to make it through the paint. If Obi fades, if Obi doesn't drive into that traffic and slides towards the baseline, he gets an open 18-footer. Taj Gibson did it a lot, but Taj
yeah.
wouldn't take the shot, right?
No,
Taj took the shot occasionally, and he hit a respectable clip, maybe like 40%. But Obi Toppin in that role, I think, is a threat there. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah,
I think it has a lot to do with the point guard play off the bench, and
for sure.
Obi's role. Is Obi going to be a small forward? Is Obi going to be a Robert Ory type that plays the 3, 4, and 5?
At this point, like I can't see Obi playing the three in the league, given who you'd
No.
have to defend every night, right? Like
Right.
on the
Right.
defensive end, he'd be a disaster
Right.
guarding other teams' threes, right? And like
Yeah.
I think he can kind of play. I know a lot of people were comparing him to John Collins when he was coming out of college, right? Like that, an athletic kind of guy. He can step out, shoot the ball. Not the greatest one-on-one player, but like he finishes in traffic. Like he can get you 15 or 20 points in his prime, right? But I feel like at this point, his role in the team, they played it perfectly. Like Tibbs played his role perfectly, gave him 10, 15 minutes a game, made him a role player, made him a hustle guy, made him a guy who ran the fast break, got
Right.
into space, hit some open shots, hit some layups, got some dunks.
Made him a full court
That
rim runner. The full
yeah,
court rim running thing, it was a weapon, right? And,
for
and I think
sure.
we should have probably taken more advantage of that. But when you have Julius Randle getting the ball out the rim, Julius
Yeah,
Randle doesn't see stuff like that.
definitely not. No,
So,
no. He's not
yeah,
throwing that pass. And to be fair to Julius Randle, that's not his job to throw that pass.
right,
That'd be a good point guard that we have, but unfortunately we haven't had one of those in a long time, right? So
right, right,
yeah. But moving on, I think our best asset moving forward is RJ for sure.
yeah,
In terms of young players, right? A guy who could legitimately be a fringe all-star player, I feel, in his prime. I always kind of just compare him to DeMar DeRozan. They have pretty similar type games where RJ is pretty good in the mid-range, and his three-pointer is a little bit more advanced than DeRozan was and is at this point, but he's got a little bit of playmaking to his game. He can rebound the ball, strong finisher around the rim, like a guy that can give you 20 to 25 a night in his prime, right? And like that's
right,
kind of what we want from him. He won't. I don't see him being like a perennial all-star at this point, just because I don't think he has the athleticism or the skill to be a top 15 guy in the league. But I could see him
right,
being a really, really good player for this team moving forward. And where we got him, like I know it's the third pick in the draft, and he was taken behind John Morant and Zion, who will probably be multiple All-Stars, but still, like that's nothing to sneeze at. Like he was at what 18.5 points per game this year. RJ, a second year player.
Something like that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on a 4 seed, like you can't complain, right? On his progression from last year. I think he really took that to heart when he was left off the all rookie team, and he worked hard this summer. Yeah, and even like one thing I was kind of impressed was like at the beginning of the year, his shot was a disaster. Like he was after the first two months of the season, he was shooting 21% from the 3-point line, and he ended off the year at 39, I believe. Right, which is really, really good. Like that means you're above average 3-point shooter in the league.
That mean you got scorching hot during the season.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
Hey, so let me ask you this: how much more time you got? You got a few minutes to hang out in the chat?
For sure, I got about 10 more minutes.
Yeah. I'm gonna put the link in the chat because I think guys are dying to ask you some questions. So I'm gonna put the link in the chat. And so here's the thing. So I have this wild pendulum swing type analysis for Emmanuel Quickly and RJ Barrett.
Yeah.
Right. So on one end, I think Emmanuel Quickly will be an 11 point per game scorer. In ideal situations, he can go off and light up your scoreboard, but you can't depend on it every night. And I think RJ Barrett, in that same vein, his ability will be capped by how explosive he can become athletically and vertically, and with skill with personal trainers and all of that, reshaping his body in order for him to become a better finisher at the rim. Right at the other end of the spectrum, though. At the other end of the spectrum, I think these guys can become splash and dash, the starting backcourt for the Knicks. You know what I'm saying? Quickly playing some point, RJ, and these guys becoming, the backcourt of the future for like a 4 or 5 year stretch. So what do you think?
I can see that, but the only thing is like I really like Quick off the bench at this point, and I feel like if we are going to make a move for a point guard, then Emmanuel Quickly is probably not the guy that we're going to move forward with as a starting point guard in the future, right? He might take over that Derrick Rose role off the bench as a scorer and run that second unit rather than be the starter, because we saw in a couple starts this year like he really struggled. Right, handling that pressure with the first unit, and then also he doesn't get the shots that he usually gets when he is playing on that second unit. Right, he's a little bit more tentative. When he comes off the bench, you see like he comes out firing. Right, like he's not shy.
Okay. Can you hear me?
What's going on? What's going on, people?
What's up, man?
How you doing? What's up, Freezy? How you doing, Amar?
Good.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I wanted to ask you a question. Now that we've talked about like I guess major moves that we can make. How about like second tier moves or even third tier moves? I'm looking at for our small forward position, people like Nicholas Batum or people like a PJ Tucker. With Norman Powell probably being a little bit higher on that scale. What do you think about those moves? As ancillary moves to any big splash.
Yeah, I mean, like a guy like Nicholas Batum or PJ Tucker, those would be pretty good role players if we had maybe a little bit more competitive as a team. I feel like for us, our biggest issue and the glaring issue through the end of the year and through playoffs is our offense, right? I feel like we lack that star who could give us 15 to 20 points a night. Like we struggle to score 100 points, right? And I think as a team, either there's some ancillary players that we could bring in who could supplement that. Like a normal Powell would be a great addition, I find, to our team, because he gets buckets. And I find that that's where we're kind of lacking on our team is guys who can go out and score, give us that spark, whether it is off the bench or whether it is in the starting unit. Because how many times have we had 20 or 22-point first quarters because the offense just looks terrible. RJ's not hitting his shots. Randall's being frustrated because there's no spacing on the floor. I feel like offense is now where we need to focus our money on, because defensively we can plug in guys into Tibbs' system and they'll all perform, right? Defensively, we already know that with the way that he has guys playing. But like Nick Batum and PJ Tucker are guys who are role players on probably championship teams at this point. And that's why Milwaukee gave up what they did to get him. Nick Batum was obviously a buyout candidate, but he's on a championship contending team too. I'm not sure if he would come to New York, and if he was playing a big minutes for us, like I'm not sure if he would be suited for the role that we need him to play.
Yeah, I was thinking about those players because we can offer probably more money than a lot of teams. And it just depends on what they're looking for. If they're looking for championships or if they're just looking to get as much money as possible, right?
For sure.
On my tier one, I'm a person that's actually looking towards the 2022 season. That's not a very popular take around these parts because, people always come back with the you don't know what's going to happen in 2022, so why would you wait a year? That's the comeback. That's the pushback that I get. I see the draft, I see the free agency class, and I think it's a very big market of huge players, big name players. But looking at the 2021 free agency, I have a top tier one of logical players, which is Spencer Dinwiddie at the point guard and Norman Powell at the two. Then I go down to my tier two players, which is PJ Tucker, Nicholas Batum, and Derrick Rose, who probably will be back. I have.
Sorry.
Actually, let me give you actually my four tiers, and then probably you can go after that. After my tier two, which was PJ Tucker, Batum, and Derrick Rose, which again I said probably Rose will be back. I have a tier three of Otto Porter, Doug McDermott, Gorgie Dang, and Kent Bazemore. I penciled in McDermott as somebody that we can put off the bench, and I guess we can go from there.
Yeah, I mean, like those are all really great names, and I find like especially in tier one, like Dinwiddie would be a good pickup. He probably will command quite a bit in free agency this year, just because he is looking for that payday, right? But he can ball and he can give us buckets, right? And I think, yeah, but I agree
what up,
with you,
State? What up, State?
What's up, fella?
G-Man.
What's good? What's good?
Go ahead,
Amir. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead. You're on the road. Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah. No, just kind of speaking on that, like a guy like Spencer Dinwiddie would probably be a good addition, but maybe I'm not sure if he's the answer at point guard yet. I'd honestly rather take a chance on a Chris Paul or Kyle Lowry at this point, to bring in some veteran leadership and guys who can still play. Everybody's seen the Chris Paul effect in OKC and in Phoenix now, and what he's done for those two franchises. Kyle Lowry's a proven winner. He can still play. He's still hard-nosed. Like, obviously, there's injury concerns with these guys, but I feel like we either got to commit to our young core and move forward with what we have, or we got to bring in guys who are proven, either all-stars or guys who can do it at this level that you can count on in the playoffs, right? Like bringing in a guy like Spencer Dinwiddie, I don't think it's going to push us over the hump. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like we got to either address a star player or we got to move forward with what we have and keep building, keep getting assets. Hopefully our young guys improve, and we can pick up somebody maybe in 2022. There's a lot of free agent point guards in that class, or Bradley Beal, who may become available if things don't work out in Washington. But yeah, I feel like there are ancillary moves, but those are all moves you make as a championship team, right? Bringing guys like that to supplement what you already have. I feel like we need a lot more work to do in terms of our starting five rather than bringing in role players at this point.
Yeah, I agree. I
Right.
agree on the Chris Paul. The situation in Phoenix is just they're just going too good. I don't think he's gonna leave that situation
He's not.
anytime near.
He that man
Yeah.
is not
Go
leaving
ahead, State
Phoenix.
man. Go ahead, State. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Nah. I want to hear the rest of his roster because I disagree with. I don't want PJ Tucker. I don't want Kyle Lowry.
Right. Well,
who the other dude? You said Chris Paul. He gets let him retire in Phoenix.
see, the thing is this. The thing, my thinking on this, on these names that I pointed out is just the way the management goes about things. You know, they don't go about things overpaying players. They like to get as much value out of whoever they're signing as possible. In which they did last year with all the
So
signings that they
let me
did.
give you some names.
They overvalued their contracts. We can go out and say, yeah, we want a Damian Lillard. We can go out and
I
say
don't want him either.
we want whoever you want, Alonzo Ball. But
Yes.
these players are gonna be worth more in dollars than in production. And the way that I see it is the way my favorite player on the management team, Brock Aller, sees it. He doesn't overpay for players, and he rather pay players on a certain basis of I'm going to give you this much money and you're going to produce this much for me. Until we are able to get a Kawhi Leonard where you overpay for a Kawhi Leonard and then you can bring in a Damian Lillard like it was said at the beginning of the podcast, then those are different circumstances, and that's how you can build out the team with the role players like a Nicholas Batum and PJ Tucker and so on and so forth.
Oh my
But I
goodness.
don't. It's very hard for me to see those things happening because I just don't see Kawhi leaving. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people that
Yeah.
don't leave their situations to just come on and jump on the Knicks bandwagon.
Yo,
But
let me
Eddie,
throw
see
some.
that was his
Oh,
that's the premise
sorry.
though. That was the premise. The reason why it was brought up and phrased the way it was phrased is not that the guy is desperately looking to leave his thing to come to New York. The premise is if he leaves and comes here, then what do you do when you get him? You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's
Then
the
you
way.
then you go and you trade your assets for Damian Lillard or Brady Beal or Zach LaVine, whoever you can find to be that third star. Of course, you do that, but getting that Kawhi Leonard, that's the hard part.
No,
Can
you don't. But I'm sorry, State. I just want to say this real quick.
nah,
You
talk.
don't you don't chase all three with the hopes that you can get two out of the three. You secure one, and
Yep.
then the lure to the other is that you already have that one, and so it'll be easier for you to get that second guy to come to play for the Knicks. So hey, so Amar, man, I don't want to impinge on your time. Um, you getting kind of close, or can you hang out for a little bit? You got to go, or
Yeah, I got like 5 minutes left, man. But so I'm enjoying this though, man. I like the difference in opinions. Everybody's kind of got a different take. So
yeah, man. So
yeah,
I tell you what. How about we do this? How about we wrap up with some things that you may have coming up
yeah.
that you may want to share with everybody, and then we can let you get out of here, and then you and I can schedule another time where you can come back through and hang out with us.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, just kind of closing remarks. Like this off season and even next off season, I feel like we have time as a team to develop. We don't have to overpay, right? We're not in a spot where we were 2 or 3 years ago when we were expecting Kevin Knox to come in and be a big time player for us, or Frank, or whoever we drafted, RJ. Like we have a plethora of young players and assets and a competent front office staff, a competent coaching staff, developments team. Like the coaches that we have in terms of like Johnny Bryant is a great coach, Kenny Payne is a great coach. Like I feel like we're really well set up in order to make that big move to push us over the edge. But like reading the comments, I completely agree. Like there's no point in bringing in average players at this point. Like we have a roster of average players, right? Like if we bring in Nicholas Batum, how much more is he giving us than Reggie Bullock at this point, right? Or if we bring in PJ Tucker, how much more is he giving us than even Todd Gibson, right? Like at this point, like PJ Tucker's old. He's getting up there. He's 36 or 37, I believe, at this point. So I feel like if we're gonna spend money this off season, why not spend it on, like, we walked into the season with quite a bit of cap space still remaining. The previous year, we spent all our cap space on one-on-one deals with Bobby Portis and Alfred Payton, a bunch of other guys that we gave big 1-year deals to because we know they were just stopgaps. So why not, instead of signing 3 of those guys, throw 25 or 30 mil at Kyle Lowry for a year to come in and help out and stopgap that point guard position, right? Or Chris Paul on a short-term deal to be a stopgap until we find our next point guard or star player at that point. I'd rather do that than bring in a bunch of role players who continue to keep us at the average point, right? I feel like one thing that everybody really undervalues and that we don't see as a fan is how important having good vets around, guys who know how to win, guys who know how to prepare for games, guys who are good professionals to teach the young guys how to become winning players. I think that is something that is very underrated, especially in the NBA, right? Because we've seen it many times in the Knicks organization where we have young players who end on, they just have no direction because they don't have the right vets guiding them. So if we bring in guys like even, like I said, Lowry, a guy, a proven winner, a hard worker, a guy who comes to the gym every day, does his job, multiple-time All-Star, even if he's in the twilight of his career, he can still be productive for us and teach the Emmanuel Quickleys of the world, teach RJ Barrett, keep these guys honest, like Chris Paul has been doing with Cameron Payne this year and doing with Devin Booker and doing with the rest of the guards there in Phoenix. Like that's something that's very underrated and that could help out with our team development if we're not going to use that cap space to lure a Kawhi or whoever, a top-tier talent, right?
Right. I got you.
Yeah.
I got you. It's, man. So
Okay.
there are a lot of possibilities, bro. A lot of possibilities.
For sure.
Yeah. So, all right, brother. We'll let you go, man. Thank you again for stopping through, bro. Yeah. I'm telling you, this hour flew by. Now you see why.
Definitely, man.
Yeah, this hour flew by, man. I'll hit you up later on, man. So we gotta have you back on the show, man. You get on here and you rock, bro. We gotta get you back on at some point, man. But thanks again for stopping through. And
I had a great time rapping with y'all, man. Anytime you guys want me on, I'll be there for sure.
Word.
Yeah.
Hey, man. Hey, thanks. I'll hit you up later, man. Have a good weekend, all right?
Sounds good, man. Take care, guys.
Peace out, Amir.
Bye.
All right. Yeah. Hey, State, what's good, man?
So whoa. Pump break. Before State, I don't mean to interrupt. I don't mean to interrupt.
Nah, you go.
So G-Man, yes, I cut State off. It was rude, but I had to do a recap for
I got you, because we knew what the platform of the show was supposed to be about that first time. I get it, but that ain't what I want to talk about. That's not what I want.
Right. All right, hold on. But I just wanted to make sure that State know I wasn't just cutting him off. Just for the say that, yeah, because I just wanted to make sure that I didn't impinge on my man's time. That's all.
What I want to talk about right now is why, for the sake of everything that's Vaughn and Fred and Barney, or whoever we talking about right now, Ben and Jerry, do I not have one of those shirts you got on right now? That's what I want to talk about.
Man, you gotta go to
look, Freezer, back up from the camera. Back up from the camera, because I want people to know what I'm talking about right now.
Available on the online mall.
Listen,
these is available on the online mall. I'm trying to figure out why you ain't got one.
I don't know. Okay, I'm going to the shop right now.
Because if you'd have told me your size already, I would have got it for you. Send it to you.
I got you. I'm going in the store right now and get me some BT merch. I feel left out right now. I feel like I'm out in the cold. You know what I'm saying? I'm out here shivering. State, you feel me? You know what happened when you get out there and the wind blowing, and that parka that you used to keep you warm, and you got holes in it right now, and it's bone chilling. That's how I feel right now, State. What you got?
So I hated every player he named. So let's start off there. I don't want nothing to do with PJ Tucker. We don't have no need for Kyle Lowry because Kyle Lowry's going to be old and he wants a multi-year contract. Not interested. I want players like Josh Hart, Lonzo Ball. Take a shot on a guy like Stanley Johnson. Trade for a big like Mo Bamba. Get a guy like Colin Sexton. I want guys who got chips on their shoulders.
So you want young.
So
you
want high risk. You want high risk, high reward guys.
Yes, sir. Guy like Kelly Oubre. You don't like.
Yeah, bro. That's what that management don't do, man. That's what we don't do. We don't do the high risk.
Bro.
That's the problem.
Bro, you gotta understand. Leon Rose, you gotta understand the articles that came out. Leon Rose, when he came here, he didn't want to make major changes with the roster, which was the correct move. And Leon Rose said, I'm gonna stand pat and we're gonna see how the season play out. He stood pat, stuck to his guns. That was the right move. So now this summer, I expect for him to go in there with $60 million in cap space and bring me back a nice rotation. I refuse to see a rotation next season that has Reggie Bullock starting at small forward.
Hey,
Like,
State. Let me ask you this, because what you're saying makes sense to my ears and to my heart at the same time. The only thing though is I don't know if I like what's on your menu. Why not take these 16 draft picks the Knicks have over the next 3 years and draft your own guys instead of going out and paying for guys? I mean, because at the end of the day, you want to be young and you want them to be cheap. But so why not do it with the draft?
So hold on a second. I'm sorry. Please don't forget your point, man.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one player in particular that I'm actually in love with in this draft. The thing is, I don't think that
Scotty
our two
Barnes.
draft picks.
Barnes.
I like him a lot too.
Why
like him a lot too.
Why get Kelly Oubre when you can get Scotty Barnes?
Oh my God.
The player that I would love on this team, and I think he fills a lot of holes. He plays defense. He's the position that we need. Is Davion Mitchell from Baylor?
Not interested. Knew you was gonna say his name.
6'2" point guard who can guard.
He's 22 years old, going on 23. I just watched.
So what? It's not like he's 30.
Bro, I just watched Tom Thibodeau play Obi Toppin 11 minutes per game at 23 years old. You think I want to waste my time with him trading up? Then we got to trade up for this 22-year-old. And we got Luka, and we already drafted quickly. Not interested. Next.
All right. All right. When you see Davion Mitchell bowl out on whoever he's gonna get drafted by, Washington or even Golden State, whoever those players are, knock on my Twitter page.
Emmanuel Quickly. I don't need to knock on your Twitter page, brother. Emmanuel Quickly. I'm good, brother.
Right. So State. So here's the thing. The thing I was asking you is so the guys like Josh Hart and Lonzo Ball, I feel like you can get.
Oh, don't forget Stanley Johnson, Freeze.
And Stanley Johnson. Oh, definitely Stanley Johnson. I feel like you can get these guys in the draft, right? And not by overpaying, because the Knicks have 10 draft picks in the 2023 NBA draft, right? 2 first-round picks and 8 seconds, right? All of us know that the Knicks are not going to leave that draft with 10 players, right? We all know that, right? So why not use those assets to trade up in this year's draft and go get your guy like a Scotty Barnes in this year's draft, and then take some of those other resources and trade for a guy that G-Man for life might like in a De'Aaron Fox.
So that's plausible. I mean, that's plausible. You could do it. I mean, it's off the top of my head right now. I got 2 scenarios where we could possibly do something like that, but it involves us taking on a contract we might not like. You get what I'm saying? So the first one that first came to my brain.
Here comes Wiggins.
Yeah, you know it. Wiggins in the 14th pick. Then you trade 14, 19, and 21 for a top 10 pick. Or the second one that's coming to my mind is Kemba Walker and the 16th pick. You take the 16th pick, the 19th pick, and the 21st pick, and you move up with that, and you go get your guy. But here's the thing. I hear people probably like, ew, yo, you talking crazy. Let's look at the 2022 free agency. I view RJ Barrett. I don't know about y'all. that's my franchise shooting guard. So
Who?
since he's my franchise shooting guard, I don't want
Barrett.
nothing to do with Bill. I don't want nothing to do with Zach LaVine. I'm
Right.
good. Zach LaVine might re-sign with Chicago, so that's an afterthought. Bill is in Washington. Washington got another max contract on their roster. They're not trading Bill and not letting him go. So I don't see nobody until 2024 that I could really sit here and say, I want to save $35 million cap space for him. Do somebody got a name for me? If you do, say it.
Man, I don't care. I don't care nothing about no G-Man. Would you tell these cats we don't care nothing about nothing now? No 3 years, bro.
But
Man,
that coincides with how people want to build this team. Because people saying, oh, don't spend the cap. Let's save the cap space, right? And they don't want a bad contract, but take on a good draft pick. But they telling us, oh, we're gonna get Kawhi. Oh, let's pay $27 million for a 36-year-old Chris Paul instead of paying the premium for Lonzo or Colin Sexton. Like that. You tell me, huh?
Yo, Lonzo's going to Chicago. That's all I know.
That's done.
Lonzo's going to Chicago. That's already a done deal.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, I don't want to break your heart, State, but I does this, yo. He's going to Chicago. That's already a done deal.
Oh, he can go there. I prefer Colin Sexton anyway, my brother.
Colin Sexton. I mean, I like Colin Sexton. He's okay. I like Colin Sexton, but I don't know if he's worth the headache.
Are you kidding me? What headache?
And the type of player that we covet is not his personality. Let me put it to you like that.
He's a hard worker. He's a dog. Wait, how do you know this? You got the time stone? I need to know.
I am. I'm kind of like what you call his name?
Yo, it took Randall
Thanos
7 years to average 24 points, and Sexton did that while he was 21 years old.
Yeah, but his team don't go nowhere. He's got Darius Garland on his side. He's got Jared Allen at center. He's got Jared Allen is one of the best centers next year in next year's free agency, bro. He's better than Mitchell Robinson.
But the thing, see, y'all talking out of context though. So let's just say that Colin Sexton averaged 24 points a game, and it took Julius Randle longer to do it. It's not in good context because, for one, Colin Sexton is a point guard that doesn't pass, and he scored 24 points for a team that's in the lottery. Julius Randle is a point forward that got his team to the first round of the playoffs.
Who didn't pass last season.
Right. Except at power forward, he averaged 6 assists a game.
Under Thibodeau.
Right. But the thing that we're missing is the two dudes play different positions.
Okay.
Right. And so what I would say is, as opposed to giving Cleveland weaponry to rebuild their roster, why not just get a guy out of this year's draft and do it yourself? If your goal is the year 2024, why are we afraid of rookies this year?
Because Tibbs, bro. It's Tibbs. It's nothing with me. Like I agree with you. I'm pretty sure everybody agrees with you. But we all know Tibbs is not playing no rookie point guard the minutes we want him to play. So it's a waste of time, really. And we
I don't think is the situation of the rookie. I just think he's gonna play who plays. If that player is a rookie, if he's a second-year man, if he's a 7-year man, it don't matter. If the boy can ball, he is gonna play. But we just don't have that player on the roster. You think if we were able to draft a Cade Cunningham, you think Thibodeau is not gonna play him at point guard? You just have to play ball.
Hey, G-Man, Tibbs did play 2 rookies this year, significant minutes, right?
Yeah, that he
right.
did.
And then he did play a second year. He did start a second-year shooting guard this year. The fifth.
He started every
Yeah. Right. So he'll play young guys, man. We have to look at. We gotta stop going by what people tell us. Like, people put these weird memes on Twitter. Yeah, and they think it's facts. But when you look at the real facts, the fact that Tibbs played 2 first-round rookies significant minutes, and his second-year player played significant minutes also. And the dudes and the young guys that he didn't want to be around, they are not here. Terrence Ferguson was 21 years old. They cut him on the spot. You know what I'm saying? Terrence Ferguson never even got a Knicks jersey.
Breezy, one thing that I have never I've never been in an environment to where people are so enamored with age, right?
Right.
Like
Well,
just because you are a certain age, that means you have all whirlwind thoughts. You are all automatically mature. You know what's going to happen next, how life is going to be, how it's going to come about, and which stop it, stop it, stop it. Let me tell you something, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all gonna make me get in my position early tonight. And I didn't want to get here this early in the show, but I'm gonna have to go ahead and get here. Understand this. What these players on the Knicks organizations have done, they've opened up eyes, right? They've opened up the prospect of possibilities to where I don't have to have a number one super free agent or super player to come into my team and make the team great. No. What did we do? We said, okay, guys, everybody that's in this locker room, I need your buy-in. State, Hardukin, Eddie C, Freezy, I need your buy-in. This is what we want to do today, right? And if you got that buy-in, we're gonna go out and we're gonna put a good product out there for the public. That's the bottom line up front. So where one person falters, somebody else picks them up. I do not believe in my heart of hearts that this front office is going to go out and spend a whole bunch of money or on a whole bunch of names just for the sake of spending money on names. I
Facts.
don't think that's what we're doing. I don't. That this front office is not showing me that that's the way that they're willing to conduct business. So what I think is going to happen is this. I think we will continue to do these 1-2 year deals to solidify the roster that we currently have.
No
Hold,
more
hold, hold on,
1 year
state. Hold on,
deals,
state. Hold
yo.
on, state. Before you blow a gasket, let me finish. Let me finish.
Go
What I'm
ahead.
saying is those personnel that are no value added will leave the organization. That's what I'm telling you. And they have ideas of who they want to keep and who they don't. I'm not in these practice shoot arounds and all this other stuff. So they have information I'm not privy to at this point. But I have to believe in my heart of hearts that they're going to go out and make the best decision possible for the team moving forward in the next season. Now, as it approaches, as we get to free agency, what I'm looking at is I don't want to have trade talks with another organization about a player when that player is going to be available in the next year. Why can't I wait? I'm not winning the championship next year. I'm not. That's not going to happen.
Nope.
It's not. So why am I going to sit here and put myself in a situation to where I have a conversation with Uncle Freezy every day about steak? Uncle
right.
Freezy, I need steak. You know what I'm saying? I know he's a restricted free agent. So what would it take for me to get him up out of your organization? Why am I having those conversations when I can just wait and say, "Hey, check this out. I'm gonna have my guy call your guy, and he knows that you're gonna be a free agent at the end of the year. And this is kind of what I'm looking at, just to put something on your mind during the season.
Can I
What are
throw
we
something
doing?
at you? Can I throw something at you?
Yeah,
I like what you just said. That logic you just said, use all right, use it specifically for positions, right? Now that logic you just said, I think we can use that logic as far as like a small forward
yep,
for next season. I think you can
right,
use that logic for a small forward
right.
next. But this off season, I think it is. I think it is absolutely ridiculous if the Knicks do not leave with a young, fresh point guard out of this offseason. I don't care if you got to overpay. Give me a guard. I need a point guard because if you want to look at the future, look at the point guards in the free agency the next 2-3 years. There is none. So this offseason, it would behoove the Knicks to really get a point guard. Now, using your logic, I don't really have to worry about the small forward position. Okay, we could get a Kelly Oubre for a 1-2 year deal, like something like that, or Otto Porter. Otto Porter, I know he only played 2 games this season, but that's a low risk, high reward move. Maybe he come back next season and he's a gangbuster. You never know. Another name I would love, Hamidou Diallo. I know he's a free agent. I know he's
Oh my
from
God.
left rack Queens. I wouldn't
Did you
mind
just
Hami.
say? Did you say Hami? Come on, bro.
Come on, man.
Hey, so first of all, shout out to Larry Davis. So shout
Oh,
out to
shout out to
Amar
Larry.
Duhra. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. But what I want to do is say this though, bro. If you in the deepest draft that we've seen in years, if y'all talk about only coming out of here with one pick, y'all are bugging. You know what I'm saying? Because you can get your Kawhi Leonard prototype out of this draft in Scotty Barnes, right? I'm not saying Scotty Barnes is gonna develop into
I would love Scotty Barnes.
Kawhi Leonard. What I'm saying is, if there's a shot that you could get a cat that is the Kawhi Leonard prototype out of this year's draft for cheap, why not do it? Why not take the chance? You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Now
what
I'm
we
with
doing?
you with that.
The only player that I see, because Scotty Barnes is really expensive. Like Scotty Barnes is a top 6 pick.
Never.
And I don't know how you get to the 6th pick, right? To me, he's right behind Kuminga.
To me, he's better than Kuminga. To me, he's better than Kuminga.
That's not what I'm saying. But in terms of prospects, he's probably right behind Kuminga.
Right.
So I think he's a 6th pick. And he's very expensive. For you to get that pick, it's not going to be the number 19th, the number 21, the number 31. You're going to have to tack on probably the 2023 pick, and it's going to be very expensive to get that type of player.
You ain't gonna have to pay that.
I'm doing that. Come on. I'm doing that to get Scotty Barnes.
No question.
Now the second tier player that comes to mind when it comes to somebody in that mold is probably Zaire Williams from Stanford. And he is probably around the 13th to 15th pick. Now that is more feasible, giving up the 19 and the 21st to move up to a 13. All right, so let me see who's.
So you're telling me you're going to give up a first round pick to move up 6 spots?
No.
Let me see.
That's what you just
said.
So
13 to 16. Well, let's go 13, 14, 15. 13 is the Pacers, 14th is Golden State Warriors, and 15th is Washington.
Golden State will move over.
I can see Golden State picking up a Zaire Williams. I mean, he's a small forward who can shoot the ball. He has a little bit of playmaking ability.
Golden State in win now mode though.
You would have to, yeah, but they're getting a top 6. They could probably get Scotty Barnes and Zaire Williams. They could probably get both of those guys
on the roster though.
They can go a number of different ways. They're so good that they can go for now and still have these kids on the back end for the future.
Bro,
I mean,
nah, man.
Bro, you have Steph Curry, who contract ends 2022.
He's gonna resign. He's a lifer. He's gonna resign. There's no way that. I proposed actually a trade. It was Draymond Green. I forgot who it was. I think it was here in Blorange Tears, man. But I proposed a trade. It was Draymond Green. I don't remember for who.
They should trade for Cat, but that's a story for another day. But I think a team.
No,
like
your team should trade for Cat.
That Freezy, not right now, Freezy. You're trying to tickle me right now, man. Don't do that, man.
We've talked about Cat enough, I guess. I mean, everybody knows that I'm a Cat fan, but he has to come. It's the same situation with Damian Lillard. It's got to be a third guy that comes with him.
Bro, man. Yeah, okay. Y'all are just saying star names, like forgetting about the technicality of playing basketball, bro. Is you don't just accumulate stars. Karl Anthony Towns, just by adding Cat by himself, automatically adds about 5 more wins to your win total.
Yeah.
Just by him putting on a jersey. You know
I agree with that. But isn't the end game to win the chip? And a front court of Randall and Cat, I don't think gets you there. You still need a guard, which is our biggest need, our most glaring need.
Man, okay. Your most glaring need is the easiest position to fill. You act like point guards don't become available every summer.
They do.
All-star
If it
centers,
was so easy,
We
we would
haven't
have
had
had
one in
one.
the past 5 years,
We
man.
would have had one by now. All point guards
no,
are getting locked up into contracts.
nah,
You're not
man,
just getting a point guard.
no, man, y'all front office is inept. That's the reason why they don't have a point guard yet.
Yep.
It's not that the
Correct.
fact that the point guards are not available. They're available every summer.
They
This
are.
summer, you telling me our first round pick was more attractive? I mean, Houston's first round pick at the time was more attractive than our first round pick when they traded for John Wall. Come on, man, we could have gave Houston a first round pick and had John Wall right now.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, come on.
I mean that makes sense though. He was injured for a few years, and they traded Westbrook for him, so it was a trade
No,
off.
but the first round pick that Houston got is the number 23rd pick. It's not the number 1 pick. They got their number 1 pick because they were so bad. That's
Right.
their original. That's their pick. The pick that they got in the trade is a later pick than our 2 picks.
Right.
Yeah, I don't understand why we need a center more than a point guard when all we complain about mostly is the point guard play. That
No,
doesn't make
that's
sense to me.
You drafted quickly, so
Quickly is
kinda
not a
like,
point guard, bro.
bro.
And you know that too. You say the same exact. He is not a
Who-
point guard right
But
now,
so let me ask
and
you
he's
this.
not gonna be a starter. So who are you getting as your starter?
How do we know? We don't have
That's the thing. How do you know?
Hey,
So
man,
we need a point guard.
Hey, G-Man for life. Let me ask you this: the 2021 league MVP was a point guard or a center?
It was a center that played like a point guard.
Right.
The
Okay.
center.
Okay. Okay. I just want to, and the runner-up this year, the runner-up to the
Was a
center, was he a point guard or a center?
He was a center.
He was a
Okay.
center.
The
Right.
center.
Right. And the summer that just went by saw Ricky Rubio get traded twice in the same summer. Saw Chris Paul get traded. Saw John Wall get traded. Saw Russell Westbrook get traded.
Yep.
Saw Rajon Rondo sign with the Hawks. DJ Augustine signed. saw Jeff Teague sign. And we're sitting here talking about point guard is a hard position to fill.
So
You see how
That still
ridiculous
doesn't mean that we
Breezy,
don't
but
need.
all
That
those
still
point
doesn't
guards
mean we
that you
don't need a
mentioned
point guard
suck.
more than anything else.
All
Wait,
those guys that
Eddie-
you mentioned suck,
Eddie
bro.
C,
No,
Eddie C,
they do not all
Eddie C,
suck.
What?
Eddie C,
There's no
don't
way
do-
you just said all of them suck.
Oh my
It's
God.
true.
What
Right.
about
No, they don't.
Eddie
Why they
C,
CP3
don't?
sucks.
Eddie C,
Westbrook sucks.
you sound ridiculous in the
No,
fact that you
Westbrook
sound.
don't suck.
No,
But
no,
like he said,
no,
Jeff
man.
Teague and
Hey, hold on,
and
bro.
all these other players.
He said
Hold
Chris
on.
Paul.
Hold on,
He said
y'all. Y'all just wait a minute. Are you saying that all those guys were not up to our level of point guard play, and we re-signed Alfred Payton?
the only thing I can say is that they
Well, I
were
guess
all
you said
old.
Westbrook and CP3. Of course, those did, but the other guys they sucked.
Yeah,
Right,
the other
but-
guys are older.
But my
I
point,
mean, they're okay.
my point to it is that the point guard conversation y'all keep having is a recycled conversation from 5 years ago. The Knicks clearly did not want any of those guys, or they would not have re-signed Alfred Payton.
Facts.
They didn't want
Or
those
they
guys.
couldn't have gotten them because I heard that Jeff Teague picked another team over us. He didn't want to come here, and he'd rather be a third string on
It
another
was
team
Boston.
rather
He
than
picked
start
Boston
here.
over us.
He did.
It's like, yeah, you could say that, but it doesn't mean that they want to come here.
Yo,
That's the whole thing about it. Like, point guards can't be accessible. We're saying, what do we need the most?
how-
We don't
how
need a
do-
center more than a point guard.
how
We
do-
do need a center more than a point guard, bro. This
Not at this stage when we have Randall.
Right. How did your point guard look? How did your point guard look in the playoffs against the Hawks? Derrick Rose looked decent, right?
Yeah, but he's supposed to be on our bench. He's
Right,
not supposed to be
right.
starting.
But
That's why you need a starter.
how did your center look against the Hawks?
disgusting because they didn't want to guard him.
Yeah, but he's not really like if Mitch was there. That's
Our
a whole
center was
different
hurt.
story,
Our
but
center was
he's
hurt.
also a second. He's our second string center.
Yeah.
I
Y'all
think-
making 1,000 excuses, bro, for the obvious.
Yeah.
That
know
is
what
not
I
an
mean, Calvin?
excuse.
That's not.
Yeah.
No,
No
it's-
one is
exactly.
saying
It's
that you
not
don't
his
need a
excuse,
center.
bro.
Just saying that the point guard is more important for us at this stage.
There's basically every single position can be upgraded on the Knicks team, Freeze.
Except
Every
for
single
power
position.
But I'm gonna give y'all
Even the
y'all
power
a-
forward, the Dukin. You can even get better players than Randall if you
Yeah,
can.
you could, but we don't need to upgrade that.
No, it's not a glaring need. No, we have 2 power forwards actually, but we can upgrade every single position on the team.
So Freezy, what I'm listening from you right now is centers that's like Cat don't get traded, and they don't hit the market. They rarely get traded.
Right.
It's hard to find a center that does the things Embiid and Jokic do. So those guys, when those guys get on the market, I can understand why Freezy's like, yo, we gotta get Karl Anthony Towns.
It is harder to get them,
No,
but
I
we
agree
need
with
a
that
point
part.
guard
Like
I'm just saying that's the main thing we need. So
I
I don't know
agree
why we're losing
wholeheartedly
Jokic.
that if we can get a Karl Anthony Towns, we go and get that guy. And I think he betters our team even more than the 5-win prognostication. I think he gets us more than 5 wins.
I need a
But
dog
for
at point
us,
guard, man.
to get a Karl Anthony Towns is going to take a lot of our assets.
Yeah, and
No,
it's
it's
like
not.
if we didn't have
And
Randall and we got Cat, and then we
and
had,
we
let's
need a
say,
guard. Exactly.
if we
It
had
just can't be
alongside
those two.
RJ a good point guard or small forward instead, and then we had Cat, RJ, and a really good point guard, then that I would be fine with. But when you already have Randall, I don't really want a center more than a point guard.
Right. What I'm saying is this, and I think what y'all are hearing me say, and what I'm saying maybe different. Maybe I'm not saying it in a way that makes sense. What I'm saying is prioritize Cat because it's harder to find a Cat than it is to find a Damian Lillard, Steph Curry,
Yes.
Trey Young. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. So I think you could find a handful of Damian Lillards across the league, right? But you can't find a handful of Karl Anthony Towns across the league.
No, those centers them centers so rare. I don't even know if you could draft one. Like Evan Mobley looked good, but boy, Karl Anthony Towns came in the league averaging 20 and 10, shooting the 3 ball at a 37% clip. I think. Like
Right.
oh,
Right.
Man.
Right.
Knicks need talent.
Right. You could when you watch the Knicks pick and roll this year, right? When Derrick Rose ran the pick and roll in the playoffs, the Atlanta Hawks didn't even defend our roll man. They let our roll man just go to the basket and didn't even defend him. They didn't tag him or anything. They just let him go because they knew the pass was never coming. Right?
I just know that all those centers that are mentioned play with a dynamic guard. And the only one that doesn't play with a dynamic guard, but he has one in the making, is Cat, right? Because the kid that they drafted, I forget his name right now, he's going to be dynamic. But Embiid has Ben Simmons, who can't shoot a lick, who can't shoot free throws, but to me, he's a dynamic playmaking guard.
Right.
Jokic has Jamal Murray, who's a dynamic guard. He was going tit for tat with Donovan Mitchell last year. So be it, he got hurt this year, so we didn't see him. We're not seeing him in the playoffs, and that's gonna be the difference between the. I think these guys of Phoenix is up 3-0 on
Yeah, they're
Denver
about
now.
to sweep them.
Okay.
Right.
Even if you want to put DeAndre Ayton in that category now,
Right.
he's playing with Chris Paul now, and before that he was playing with Booker. So they all have dynamic guards. And that's what the New York Knicks are missing is a dynamic guard. I like RJ Barrett. I like his demeanor. I think he's a New York Knicks kind of guy. He's just not dynamic enough. He's not athletic enough. He doesn't have the handles. He doesn't have the handles that you need.
You don't like 17 points a game at 40% from three.
That's not what I'm saying, Freezy. I'm saying he's not dynamic enough. You can't put him in the tier of a Jamal Murray. You can't put him in the tier of a Devin Booker. You can't put him in those tiers.
Of course you can, because those dudes are 5-6 years.
No,
players.
sir. No, you cannot. By just looking at the games, you can't put them in those tiers.
They're way older, brother. RJ 20. You can't even drink liquor.
Devin Booker is what, 22, 23? It's not like they're like 8 years older than him.
3 years older than him, and RJ hasn't even played 2 full seasons of basketball.
Okay, so let me put it to you this way. So Devin Booker is 23 right now.
Okay.
When RJ Barrett is 23, is he going to be better or as close as good as Devin Booker will be?
Yes.
Yes.
You would put your house on that.
Devin
Yes.
Booker is about to be 25. He's not 23. He's about to be 25.
So he's 24. So that further.
But even when he was 23, he was knocking down 70 points. RJ Barrett can barely crack 30.
And he was losing. And
Yeah, but you see, I'm not saying that RJ is gonna be as good as that at that age, because I mean, it could happen, it could not happen. I think he's gonna be good, but it's like
When I first said
bro,
my point, I said I like him as a player.
No,
but
I know,
he's just not dynamic enough for me.
But let me finish. I'm saying that Devin Booker was on a trash team for 4 years, and he was the main person that they ran their offense.
Taking 20 shots.
We don't run the offense through RJ, so I don't know how you would be able to see that.
I'm actually glad that we don't run the offense through RJ because he's not ready for that at this point.
I mean, but you would want the offense to defer instead of just Randall ISO.
And if he's okay, and Hadouken, let me say this: if he was good enough, it wouldn't matter if he was 20 years old. The offense would be run by him anyway.
I'm not saying just for it to primarily be ran through him. I don't think that really makes sense. I'm saying for it to be split. That's on Tibbs. That's not on him. They put him up to be a spot-up shooter. That's not the way he plays.
Freezy. I got a name that just popped up to my head, and he's going to be a free agent this off season. He ain't Karl Anthony Towns. You know, he ain't averaging 25 and 11. But I know for a fact he's definitely leaving his team this off season. He's averaged 18 and 9 before. And people call him soft, just like Cat. It's cool. And he's been playing some. How you feel about Walmart version of KP, Larry Marketing?
Hell no.
Next to Julius Randle.
Nah, he's just too injury prone for me.
Okay.
That is
and you were right on spot when you said Walmart version of KP, because he's exactly the same. Gets injured the same way. I think his is more of back problems though, which is probably a little bit worse than knee problems. But that's not the type of system that Thibodeau plays. We've seen already that he wants a defensive minded center, and that's not what he's looking for. He's not looking for those stretch,
bro.
Unless it's somebody that does both, like a Karl Anthony Towns. He's not looking for those stretch fives.
In the event of that, I'm getting Lowry and I'm keeping Mitchell Robinson. So it could be you got one guy who brings a different dynamic, and you got another guy who brings a different type of dynamic. I don't know.
I do not want to see Roy marking anywhere.
And then the other thing is that he plays no defense, and to be on this team, you have to play defense. Like
Julius Randle played no defense last season, and this season he magically plays defense under Tom Thibodeau. Maybe it's because
I wouldn't say he plays great defense. He tries more, but he's still lazy.
Right. He's in the same RJ Barrett boat where it's not like these guys are like dog defenders. They're just in the right spots.
Randall? No, he is
Randall and RJ.
Same as RJ Barrett. RJ Barrett is a way better defender than Randall. Matter of fact, RJ Barrett.
Yeah, RJ is a better defender, but in the second half of the season, he was worse on defense. It did look iffy.
Man, I don't know, guys. Like sometimes, I mean, it's cool to look at the numbers and to say this and that, but sometimes you gotta just watch them on the court and see how they play.
I'm not talking about numbers. I don't really pay too much attention to the numbers for defense.
When they play on the court. I remember this one game in particular. It was against Phoenix, and Booker was flaming Reggie Bullock, just cold flaming him. And then it came second half, and I seen RJ Barrett get him a couple times, and then I just seen Booker's eyes just open wide when he seen RJ Barrett guarding him, because he's like, yo, Bullock can't guard me. This guy is worse. And a few key possessions, RJ Barrett would switch on to Devin Booker, and Devin Booker would just leave him in the dust. So Reggie Bullock, even though he was getting smashed by Booker, I can see that Reggie Bullock was playing better defense.
Bullock literally let him, this happened like 2 times in the game. He literally let him get a blow by dunk twice when he was.
It could be his injury. Like some people might not think, because he had a neck injury, and that can that can hinder you depending
And
on, you know.
RJ had an ankle injury that he played through and didn't miss a game. But I'm
Yeah, I
not
don't
gonna
want to
use that
hear
as an
no excuses
excuse.
for no vets, bro. I don't want
Right,
to hear
right,
about Bullock injury, bro.
but the thing is, see, I take that out of context. The reason why he let him blow by on dunks is because Reggie Bullock was in foul trouble early. What are we talking
True.
about? Reggie Bullock had three fouls in the second quarter, and those two plays happened in the second quarter. Then we taking the stuff out of context.
That's
I mean, what is he going to do? What is he going to do? Foul him?
No, I'm saying that he got
No,
Yeah, I
but
he
mean,
and what
was
I
getting
was
messed
saying
up.
was that RJ Barrett didn't look any better when he was guarding against. That's what I'm saying.
nah,
'Cause
but
as I'm
but
mentioning,
Duke is right about that too, though. MC Duke is right about that too, because the fact that RJ Barrett played through an injury should not be a knock against him. That should be, listen, this guy is ready to lace him up every game, regardless of what. We got to start, man. Come on, man. We got to start giving our guys some credit for being, we can't just
Yeah, and
knock our guys
I'm
for
not
every
saying
little
that
thing.
Bullock is, because I think Bullock is actually above average on defense. But I'm just saying, if you say that about
Yeah.
RJ, like you can't say that he was playing a lot worse defense than Bullock, because he was actually playing better defense in that position. But like,
I guess
I'm
I
not
don't know,
saying he's
man.
a
I
I'm
guess
not saying he's a
we'll
great
see
defender,
more.
but look at him playing against the Clippers when he guarded Kawhi
lock
and when he
him
guarded
up.
PG. Yes, Kawhi dunked on him
Right.
once, but he was still guarding. He was still guarding on him, and he still dropped 23
I will
when
give you
Kawhi
that.
was doing good.
I will
Like
give you that.
you
Right.
can't be
One of
saying that, because it's like there's just different examples. Because I still think that I'm not gonna use this as a full excuse, but after the ankle injury, he did seem like his posture was a little off on defense. So
on
Right.
tape,
And he was
on
less
tape,
explosive.
the Kawhi Leonard, RJ Barrett matchup looks very good. Defensively on our side, it looks very good. And his ankle was injured in that game too. So I mean, I'm gonna throw away the ankle,
no, I was mainly talking about
whatever.
the first game he played him earlier on
And
in
I
the
don't know
season.
why it is, but he does seem to play good defense against Kawhi. I don't know what it
RJ
is.
plays good, yo, bro. RJ, when I first laid eyes on RJ last season, that was the first thing that stuck out to me was his perimeter defense. Now, I didn't even care about the shooting or the score. His defense stuck out to me. He looks like a future All NBA second team defender, first team defender. You got it. I'm hoping RJ just builds on that, and I'm hoping we get him a proper wing partner. You can't go in the next season with no Reggie Bullock, bro. Gotta get me somebody.
In order to get him a guy that's going to be his riding partner, you may have to consider getting him in the draft. And this is the reason why I keep saying names like Scotty Barnes.
Oh, listen.
Nah, Scotty Barnes is way too much to trade up for.
Nah, bro. Why would you say that? Do we not have the assets to do it?
We do.
Yeah, but
Or are we
we
afraid of?
do, but we're not. I don't see us doing that. But I do think that we could get in the 10 to 12 spot.
You know what?
100%.
I'm gonna say no. We don't have the assets to do that.
Why not?
Why?
Because when you're talking about getting these major players like a Cat or like a Beal or like a Levine, what these teams are looking for are draft picks, and that we do have a lot of.
We're not looking at
When
none of those
when
guys.
when you're looking to move up in the draft, they're not looking for more draft picks.
Yes, bro.
They're looking for solidified. They're looking for solidified. The Atlanta trade was a 3 for a 5, and then the next year pick.
What was the other assets in those trades?
It was a 3 for a 5, and then the next year pick, first round pick. It was Dallas's next year first round pick, and the 3.
I'm confused right now.
Why are you confused, G man? What would it take to get up to 6 in the draft in this year's draft? Tell me what assets we have.
We have 2 first round picks,
right?
And whatever that
you see, a lot of teams have assets for it, but it's just
okay. So let me put it to you this way.
Willing to risk all these assets for one player? That's the thing about it.
Let me put it to you this way: if we are the one that has the 6th pick, and somebody has the 19th and the 21 pick, would you take the 19th and the 21 pick and give up your 6th pick?
You see, you already know that's a bad argument.
No,
nobody is saying that. I don't know why you're like.
That's what I'm saying though.
No, but
we don't have the assets to
you
jump up to 6.
Yeah, but listen, we're talking about assets in general, not just from that draft. Like Bro, you have players that you could trade in that. You have 2023, 2022 pick.
Give me the players that you would trade that somebody in
Bro,
somebody.
I'm not saying. I'm just saying like we do have assets that we would be able to trade, but you would have to give up a lot, and a team is not just gonna do that until they really want that number 6 pick. And if we had that number 6 pick, we're not trading back from that. We would most likely keep it.
Right now, Scotty Barnes is projected 6th pick to Golden State. Even if you give, Mitchell Robinson up, and you give up your 19th and your 21st and next year's first round pick, maybe if you give up next year's first round pick.
Wait,
maybe.
But Eddie C, do you hear how ridiculous you sound with that though, bro?
Word.
You just said
I don't.
You no. Listen. You just said give up Mitchell Robinson, 2 first-round picks this year, and a pick in another year for a guy that you've never seen play in the NBA.
Yeah, no, we're not doing that.
That's what it would take, though. Like Golden State will not give up that pick for what we're willing to offer.
So boom. Golden
for
State
Scotty
owes,
Barnes, who the player that you're particularly asking for.
So boom. Golden State owes $309 million in repeaters tax. So they do not trade Andrew Wiggins this summer. No, I think it's $119 million. I might have to go fact check on that when I get a chance.
No, this is the third. No, State. This is the 3rd year in a row.
Oh, so it's the 3rd, and on top of the fact that we had COVID, and on top of the fact that teams lost money due to COVID. So you mean to tell me that Golden State owner, when you have a ready team ready to win a championship, is going to bring in 2 more picks when they already have to pay repeaters tax? So they would have to,
for the 3rd
if they wanted to draft Scotty Barnes, for example, they would have to trade Andrew Wiggins. And who is going to take Andrew Wiggins' contract, right? Just for the sake of getting that contract, so they could keep Scotty Barnes.
If I don't think there's anybody in the league that's willing to take on Andrew Wiggins' contract for the 14th. They would have to give up that 6th.
Scotty Barnes
they would have to give up the 6th pick for that.
Doing that.
So I guess my question is, why are we so fixed on the 6th pick? Why
no, it's not. It's not. It was just the player.
That's where you get Scotty Barnes at.
Okay.
That's where you get Scotty Barnes at. That's why.
But it's also an event where Scotty Barnes could fall. Then you got a team like, so I just threw out the Golden State scenario. I'm thought the Orlando Magic scenario. Orlando, right? Oh, Freezy, I think you got 2 playing at the same time. Orlando,
yeah, right? I got you.
They got Markelle Fultz. They just signed Fultz. They just signed Jonathan Isaac. They're another team that's in cap hell right now. So who's to say that they will bring in 2 lottery picks this offseason? Let's say if they get the 1 pick and they get Cade. They already got Fultz, Cole Anthony, right? They're not going to want to bring in the 9th pick of this year's draft. They already got Cade. So they're going to probably trade that pick. Like, we don't know. But the scenarios of teams that's in cap hell, that's in the lottery, who already got players in those positions that might be drafted in the spot that they're slotted in, we can sneak in there because we have $60 million in cap space, 2 first-round picks. And if I'm the Knicks, OG, you didn't even mention this, I'm absolutely putting the 2022 pickup unprotected for sale. Absolutely.
But you can't trade, because the stepping rule. You can't trade first-round picks in consecutive years.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. So the 2023 pick. All right, I would give up the 2023 pick. Yes, I would.
Right.
But
State. What I'm getting at though is this. Listen to what we're saying. We're talking about trading Mitchell Robinson, right?
Mm-hmm.
2 first-round picks this year, and another pick. So you're talking about trading Mitchell Robinson and 3 first-round picks just to move up to 6.
That's
no GM in their right mind is doing that deal.
They want to keep their job.
Right.
That's exactly right. That's a hypothetical. That's how much you would probably have to give up to get to that pick.
So
then everybody would say no.
Though. Does that not mean we have assets?
I think giving up that, depending on the team that you're negotiating with, right? It depends on the team because say a Golden State who is looking to contend for a championship because they have to take into account Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green's championship window would do it
Yep.
for less because Mitchell Robinson helps them immediately.
Right.
A
Yeah,
young
and these
veteran
are
center that
these
they
are
could plug into
projected
the lineup
lottery
helps them
picks.
immediately.
But
The
they already
lottery,
just
have
by
James Wiseman.
the lottery is
man, James
intent based.
Wiseman is not Mitchell Robinson right now.
We'll
Word.
realize
He,
who
he-
we'll
word. He is
realize
not what
what
they
these
need at
picks
center.
who these picks
Not
are
right
actually
now.
going to be given
Maybe
to.
in the long run, he'll be better than Mitchell Robinson. But right now, he's not better than
Nope.
Mitchell Robinson, bro.
For what they need, not for what they need.
So they would give up those assets. They would do that trade for a player that they're gonna sign for 1.8 next year, and then the year after that, he's gonna be an unrestricted free agent.
So,
Right.
so
He's gonna
under the
want
table,
and is gonna want a healthy bag,
under the table,
and they're in
look,
repeater
But
taxes.
but no, they won't be in a repeater tax because what they'll do is counter with the they'll say, listen, give us Mitch and those 3 first-round picks for Andrew Wiggins and the number 6 pick.
I'm
And then
taking
that
it.
way
Before they finish saying
and-
Andrew, before they even finish saying Andrew, I hung up the phone.
You
I'm
crazy.
not gonna take on that contract.
but Eddie C, listen
But
to
his
what I'm
contract
saying, bro.
expires the next year.
Yeah,
So it's
so
not
what I'm
you're not
saying,
really doing anything crazy.
right? And what I'm saying to you, bro, is this: Golden State would rather trade that pick and get out of because if they don't trade him, the 4th year repeater tax will doom their franchise.
Yeah.
If they
Okay,
go into
so
it 4
we're
years in a row,
doing so basically we're doing Golden State a favor, right?
They
No,
doing us
no,
a favor too.
We're doing each other a favor.
Golden State is looking out for themselves.
Facts.
We're doing Golden
State's
State a
looking out for-
favor because
No, Golden State is looking out for themselves.
Yes.
First of all, I don't even think the Warriors are getting that pick. I mean, they're projected to get 6, but the lottery is about to come up. That could really be like a few different teams, whatever pick, and it's gonna be more different scenario. Because I really don't think the Warriors are getting that 6th pick. I think they're probably
right
getting
because
5 or
because
something.
if that pick lands in the top 3, it goes back to Minnesota.
Yeah, it goes back to Minnesota. Anything outside is theirs, which I think that
Right.
they might trade for a young star that they think they could win with.
I actually hope it does go to Minnesota. So
I don't, because the Minnesota has way too much already.
Right.
I mean, but I would rather them get it than Golden State.
They've been blessed enough. I think they're good.
Didn't Minnesota
Exactly.
get the number
That's
1 pick
exactly
last
what
year?
I'm saying.
Did Minnesota get the number 1 pick last year?
Yeah.
They've been blessed enough.
Yeah,
bro.
number 1.
They could have continued losing just like a few more games. I don't know. They decided to start winning the last few games for some reason.
Because Cat
Right.
came back healthy and D'Lo was healthy. And
Yeah, but he's
And they
been
got
back.
him-
They weren't really winning much with him back. But it's like when D'Lo started coming back, that's when they started winning a few games.
And it also coincided with them changing coaches. They got the coach from Toronto. Remember the coach
Yeah,
that they hired after they fired the coach?
They fired that coach after our game. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot of things that go into it, man. Basically what I'm getting at is the Knicks have a ton of options and we can't box ourselves in by thinking in a straight line.
And
It's
Freezy,
straight-
let me say this real quick. I actually like I know I'm saying I don't want Cat now, but I did want him last season. Like I like Cat, but it's like to me I don't want to have a power forward and like if we didn't have Randall, I would be all for it. If we had like besides Randall, we had like a point guard or a small forward besides RJ that was like in his skill level. But I just to me I don't feel like that would really work well for us because they're both like they kind of chuck shots in my opinion. And they're gonna have to figure it out.
Right. But what I'm saying is this though, as opposed to giving the whole kit and caboodle for Dame Lillard, why not try a De'Aaron Fox, Karl Anthony Towns, a Colin Sexton, Anthony Towns?
Bro, I wish we could get De'Aaron Fox.
In that scenario, we would have to give up RJ in one of those trades.
No. Not for sure.
No, man. NBC is like, yo, you're gonna give up some young players. Bro, we got 18 picks in the next 3 years, bro. We average 6 draft picks per year for the next 3 seasons, bro. You know what I'm saying? Cats, you can give up some of those draft picks, man. I promise you.
Man, go get me Colin Sexton, man. Let's man, go get me a dog, man. Go get me a guy who's gonna tell Julius Randle, no, move out the paint. You cut.
Right.
You come give me the screen. I'm stay here. Give me a guy like that. That's what we need.
A State. This is what I would say also. And I spoke to Hoodie Kev and Hadouken about this a few weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
How about get me a point guard that when Trae Young makes a basket, he sends Julius Randle down the floor and he brings the ball up and gets us in the offense, and not Julius Randle.
I'll be back in a second.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, we need one of those. We need, because I mean it could be any point guard, but I just want to see it. Like, I'm fine with drafting a young point guard. Like, I still want us to trade 19 and 21, because I definitely think if we trade 19 and 21, we could get into that 10. And if we trade 19 and 32 or 21 and 32, you can move up into the lottery. So it all depends on how bad we really want it. And I think that we will want it. Like, I don't trust them yet because they haven't done too much for me to trust them. But this is the offseason. I need to gain my trust.
Bro,
Yeah,
they got you second round pick, 7 second round picks in one muted offseason.
That's what I hope they do this season. I hope they play around with the picks this offseason. That's what I'm trying to see again. Because last year, yeah, they did that, but other than that, I haven't seen anything. So I'm gonna judge
the most that I see us moving up if we trade these picks 19, 21, and the 31 pick is probably 15 to Washington. Like, that's the only scenario where I don't see us moving up in the top 10 with our draft pick capital on this year's draft.
I do. It just depends on the team, their cap situation, and what happens in the lottery. I'm gonna give you another example. I've been throwing examples all crazy all night. I've been thinking about wild stuff when it comes to the Knicks. Imagine if OKC falls to like 9th in this year's draft, and they still got their other pick, and they say, damn, yo, we don't got no guy we like right here in this spot. We fell. Let's try to get off this Al Horford contract. You could probably take Al Horford in the 9th pick, and then now you cooking with grease. Like, it's a lot of things that
man, 9th is still too high. State, like, it's still too high. Like, these hypotheticals that you were talking about are the types of trades that they were making about 3 years ago, when a lot of people were trying to get under the cap to sign certain free agents, and you know, those things are like fads, man, and those things go away. Like, you don't see that anymore. People are not doing that. People are not trading picks like they used to anymore.
Yo, I love what you just said. You said 3 years ago, right? So let me ask you something. What has happened in the past 2 years?
Go ahead, shoot.
So COVID happens. Ruins everybody's money, right? So these teams that you're talking about from years ago, remember years ago was the last CBA as well. I think it was in 2016, a lot of crazy contracts. So if we could just take advantage of those teams that's just in cap hell, I think we could strike gold. But we gotta be prudent, as what Scott Perry would say. I just hope they don't do something dumb. Like, I'm not interested in getting Chris Paul 3 years, $100 million. Like, Kyle Lowry thought
they were saying that he wants 3 years, 60 mil, somewhere around there.
No, it's probably somewhere in the middle. First it was 6-100, 3-100, then it was 360. It's probably around 380, or 85.
Pay Lonzo.
That's a tough pill to swallow.
I'm not doing that.
That's a tough pill to swallow, but I still think that Phoenix does everything they can to keep him. And if Phoenix offers him 3 years, 70 mil, he'd probably take it.
Yeah. Oh, we got a $20.
You want to shout that out?
Or? Yeah, shout that out, bro.
All right, we got a $20 super chat from Corey Lee. Shout out to you. He said, or she said, I'm not gonna say. Okay, we to stop reaching with all these crazy trade draft scenarios. All right, and let me say something about that.
That's that girl rapper, right? Corey Lee.
No, that's Coy LeRae. I think that's who you're talking about. But people are saying, two
Tyler
people in the
Coleman.
chat, Andy said this and someone else, they said, stop making these delusional trade things. But it's like, bro, the sixth one, we're not saying that we're gonna easily trade to. I'm saying that we have assets, but we're not gonna trade up for it because it's way too much. But the lottery is realistic to trade up to with 19, 21, and 32. I don't know why you would think that's crazy. Like,
the value,
you
the
think we're
value
saying
is
like
not.
we're gonna trade like 19 and 21, like Eddie C was saying for 6? Like, no, we're not saying that.
You know how I know the Knicks is going.
Oh, the lottery is it the lottery ends at 14, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I say that we could get up to 15, so it's close to the lottery.
I say
with
10
those
to 13
picks.
we could get up to.
So
Hell no.
y'all
Like,
know,
I ain't giving up my 10th pick where I can draft a Davion Mitchell, where I could draft a James Bouknight.
bro. But if you're the Orlando Magic, you don't need either player.
Yeah,
Right.
you do. Bouknight, you need a Bouknight. You just
No, you
traded
don't.
away.
They
You just
traded
traded
for
away.
RJ.
You just
Not if they
traded.
get a Jalen Green.
Y'all missed what he said. Y'all missed what State was saying. Right. So at 10, you don't need Davion Mitchell. You already have Cole Anthony and Markelle Fultz.
And you have RJ Hampton.
And
No,
you
but
have
we were
RJ
talking about
Hampton.
James Bouknight.
Yeah, but Bouknight, they're most likely gonna get they could get Jalen Green, which they're most likely gonna get if they do get that top pick.
Right.
Right.
So
I,
it's
I
like,
would take a Jalen Green. I would take a Jalen Green at that
No,
point.
you missed what he's saying because they pick at 4 and 10.
I know
They
what
pick
he's
at
saying, bro.
But so if you pick Jalen Green at 4, why would you take Bouknight at 10?
yeah, that wouldn't make sense. You need to get a different position there. Like,
Right.
yeah.
I'm not, but we didn't say it the first part, Jalen Green, before. We said
No, I
at 10,
said it right
if you
after.
can take a Bouknight, you said it right after, exactly.
But you should know Orlando don't need him. You should know that because of their roster.
If you take a Jalen Green, of course, you're looking at a different position
Right.
at
10,
what is
at
it they're
10.
picking? And they're
At 10.
they're not even picking at 10. They're picking at 8.
They have Chicago Bulls pick.
So at 8 you can get a Jalen Johnson. At 8 you can get who else is out there, bro?
But they don't need Jalen Johnson either. See?
Right.
Why? He can play small forward.
But they have Jonathan Isaac.
Thank you. Continue.
And who is their power forward?
Oh,
No,
I don't know.
I mean, no, he kind of
That's
plays
what I'm
well, but they
saying.
have but Wendell
Oh,
Carter.
they can switch.
Wendell Carter
can,
plays.
Oh, they have.
Wendell Carter is not no power forward.
He
Wendell
plays
Carter
power
is not
forward,
no
and Mo Bamba was playing center for the rest of the season.
That's hogwash, bro. I mean, you ain't gonna play no Wendell Carter at power forward, man. Like they did that trade for Vucevic mostly for the draft, and they're not getting off these draft picks. They ain't do it for Wendell Carter.
Well, brother, if they get a top pick and they get a guy like Jalen Green, brother, they have no need for no player that slotted at 10 at that spot. So
I like
they would
Jalen
likely
Green.
trade
I
that.
actually like Jalen Green over Jalen Suggs.
Yeah, it could be either. I think he has the best scoring potential out of all of them.
Yeah, he's got that Kobe type feel to me. Jalen Green. He has like that Kobe type feel to me, and I think he's a big swing. He's a very high, very risk reward player. Jalen Suggs is probably more a safer pick, but I like to swing for the fences, so I would take Jalen Green over a Jalen Suggs. It also depends on your personnel, right? Because if you have a legit shooting guard, then you can probably say, okay, I'll go with the safer pick. But if you have nobody on your roster like Detroit, bro, you just go for Jalen Suggs or for Jalen Green.
But that's why you don't even go for Jalen Suggs. You go for Kuminga. You don't go for Suggs.
I think
Kuminga. Not if you Detroit. Not if you Detroit.
Yeah, not if you
don't.
Detroit.
Yeah, because they got 25 power forwards.
Yeah, because they got Sekou Doumbouya.
I forgot about Sekou.
Yeah, and then I mean they got Beef Stew there too. Like, he's not even bad either.
Right.
He was playing good. Isaiah Stewart, he was playing nice actually.
Yeah, I like him. He reminds me of Ben Wallace. That guy reminds me of Ben Wallace.
He plays
Like
a lot,
he's
of, but
really
he also
rugged.
takes
I
some
can
threes too. He's been looking nice to me. I've been liking
The
the way he
the
plays.
the only part that I didn't like was when Norvell Pell swatted his shot like 3 times in a row. But I actually like his game. Like I like his style. He's from New York. That kid's from New York.
And I know they just got Killian Hayes, but he's a little
Yeah.
injury prone, and they don't
And he's
really have a
soft.
point guard behind them, so they
Yeah,
could
he's
still get
soft.
another point guard. I would.
I was glad that they actually took Killian Hayes
Asian
because
soul.
Yeah, I was hoping they didn't get Obi.
right. I'd rather have Opie. I'm still on a. I'd rather have Obi on my roster than Tyrese Halliburton.
To me,
I'm
the
probably in
only
the
person
minority with that, but
only person I
still like
wanted
I
in
still
this
like
draft was
Obi.
LaMelo. That's the only person I wanted. And then if
I like
Obi
them
fell,
too.
I would have been happy.
I like them.
And
I
I'm just
like them
happy
a
we
lot
didn't
too.
trade up for Obi because he fell for us, so I wasn't mad at all. And I'm
But
still
you
not
know,
mad
I think
about it.
I think the player that we were really looking at wasn't even Obi. Everybody says that it was Obi. I think that the player that we were really looking at and we're enamored with was Okoro.
no, I disagree.
I think it was Okoro.
You see, I don't think
Um,
so because they
Leon,
said that they were gonna trade up to 5 for
so
Obi.
then
that's a
that
fact.
was the reason why I think Cleveland took Okoro over Obi because Cleveland needed Obi. Cleveland definitely needed a player like Obi. And
Yeah.
they took Okoro over Obi.
Oh no,
So
no,
I think
I
those
was very surprised.
those rumors about trading up to 5, it wasn't to pick Obi, it was to pick Okoro.
so most notable, Jalen Green and Colin Sexton is both a part of CAA. I just wanted to throw that out there for y'all.
Yeah, but the Jalen, nah, I get it. With the Jalen Green, like you see, I love the season we had, but I was still like in the mix in the middle of the season. Like I want to get to the playoffs, and I want to get past the first round, but I would have really loved getting a top 5 pick.
No,
And that's not even me hating on winning because I want like I used to get pissed when we were losing consistently in the last
You
3
know what,
years,
man?
every single time. Like
I
I
think we
really wanted a
alright.
good pick, but I'm
think
fine
we
now.
alright,
I don't
man.
really care now.
I think we are right. Like how many more kids we need? Like we have tons of kids, you know what I'm saying? Like how many more do we really need like that, man? It's like
but brother, you can't trade Burks, Bullock, Nerlens.
Bro, we literally have 6
know.
people on contract next season. That's this all season. That's crazy. Like we really need to fill up the whole entire roster.
Yeah, like
Right.
we gotta.
I want Josh Hart though, like you were saying. I don't want Oubre though, but I want
Cool.
Josh Hart.
He cool.
I like
Give me Carmelo.
Hart, but his shot is like way too inconsistent, man.
He
Like
cool.
Yeah,
And
I
he's-
don't. I would say this though, in a point guard shooting guard draft, I don't know if I go out and sign Josh Hart when I can get him in the draft.
I love his rebounding ability.
right. He's a player that
and
you can
his hustle.
definitely get in the draft at our range.
Right, and he defends out of his position too. Like you don't see him guard 1 through 4, and you don't want him going into the game doing that. But you know what I'm saying? He will defend. Like he don't shy away from power forwards.
And
He don't.
Freezy, he gets boards like he's a center, like he really wants it. That's what I like about him too. Like he's a hard fought player,
Hart,
and he does whatever you need him to do. That's why
Hart,
I would love him on the team.
Hart with RJ rebounded would be something special. But Hart with RJ with Jalen Johnson.
I think he would come off the bench though. Maybe I don't know, depending on who we get.
You see, what me is though this like we have like players that are not that athletic on our starting 5, right?
Right.
Like RJ is not super athletic.
No.
Randall is not super athletic.
No.
I guess you can say Mitchell Robinson is athletic.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking at somebody like I want an athletic player to start for me on that roster, I'm looking for somebody like Norman Powell, who's an unrestricted free agent.
No.
Who's an unrestricted free agent, who's
Yeah, you got a
only
player
getting
option.
he's gonna decline that. He's gonna get way more money on the market.
Yeah, I know.
Who's getting better at his age,
Please.
who
God,
can
no.
guard and he can shoot the 3. The
No.
only knock on I have on him is that he's 6'3", but he plays bigger than 6'3". So we would probably have to slide RJ to 3 and put Powell
Every
at
single
the-
team
at
is
the
gonna
2.
want him in a restricted free agency, but he's been He fell off a little when he went to Portland, but it makes sense. But
Word.
he just fell off a
And
little. But I
you know
wouldn't be
why,
mad
right?
at getting him at all.
Yeah, he's
You
got
know what?
CJ and
He
Dame
fell
and them.
he fell off because Dame Lillard is a shoot first point guard. And so you face a lot of different scenarios. But what I will say is this: I don't like a 6'3" guy playing small forward, and I don't want to put RJ Barrett at the small forward either. What I would rather do is just go get a small forward and just rock like that. You know what I'm saying?
I wanted to say, like, what did y'all think about? I hate the guy. I wanted to say what y'all think about Kelly Oubre, but before that, I wanted to say, yo, remember when we was on the chat about 4 or 5 days ago, and I bring up Spencer Dinwiddie, and it's just caught fire, the Spencer Dinwiddie train, and
Yeah, I saw that.
everybody's talking about Spencer Dinwiddie
Yeah, I've seen it on
as
Twitter.
I mean, but all over the place, not even with the Knicks, just like, you know, the kid's on fire, man. But
He's
the
nice.
Kelly Oubre situation, I hate the
good.
guy, but I don't know what y'all think about Kelly Oubre.
Tsunami Poppy, I'm good.
Yeah, let me say this.
like.
Let me say this real quick. So shout out to Corey Lee for the super chat platter. He says we are in the driver's seat. We got money and draft capital, and we made our way into a landing spot. And I agree with that. I just say, and instead of us just thinking linearly, if that's a word, about Damian Lillard, Hoodie Kev stop texting me, bro. Hoodie
Why
Kev
is
is
he in here?
yeah. Hoodie Kev is.
I want to get in the chat, Freezy.
I fired him, and he texted me. I'm just joking. I'm just joking. But so the thing is, you know, we need to start thinking with a more open mind. We need to start thinking from a position of wealth, as in turn thinking of a position of being rich, right? Like Bruce Wayne is wealthy. A Powerball winner is rich. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to think like a Powerball winner. We want to think, when it comes to spending money, we don't want to think like a Powerball winner. We want to think like you know what I'm saying, old money. You know what I'm saying? Like, take our time and just do it right. Research deeply, not just buy Lamborghinis because Lamborghinis are for sale. You know what I'm saying? We want to buy the Lamborghini company. You know what I'm saying? That's what we want to start thinking like. You know what I'm saying? So, and this year, you're talking about a team that has 18 picks going into the next 3 years, and all of them are not first round picks. But what you could do is turn them into more valuable assets just by making smart trades. You know, and to some of y'all credit, because y'all said some things that are really smart, and it's unfortunate that we didn't get a chance to build on them because we moved so fast. What we want to do is take these assets and have them either retain value or grow in value. We don't want to have them rot on the vine. Like, for instance, like what's happening to the New Orleans Pelicans when they drafted cats like Nikhil Walker-Alexander. You know what I'm saying? Who can't even get on the court because they have guys in front of them. Yeah, Kira Lewis, like guys
he
that can't.
plays when people are injured, but he could score. He could score, but he's not. That's why he's a shooting guard mainly than a point guard, which he was supposed to be.
Right, but they have. What I'm saying is they have, those guys are talented, but they can't get on the floor, right? And what they could have did is consolidated those picks and had a big three of Zion and Brandon Ingram, but they don't.
You see,
but they
it's
could
like,
have.
look at the Pelicans now. You see how JJ Redick was saying like he can't trust that front office and no one should. And then you see Josh Hart saying that he wants to get a fresh start, and then Lonzo is gonna leave. That looks so bad on that organization.
Right. And the guy is so smart. The guy that took over is so smart, but I guess there was a whole bunch of things that happened before we got there.
That looks bad on their whole.
It's too hard to steer
right now.
Right.
And it's like they're in such a bad. They have Ingram and Zion, but they need to get something else around them.
They built the team wrong.
Right. They built the team.
Like
wrong.
Steven Adams to a 2-year deal, like that made no sense to me. 2-year $40. That's what it was, right? That made no sense to me.
And when you just drafted a young center the year before.
Yeah, they got Jackson Hayes and they barely played him. He's kind of like Mitch in a way because he's very athletic.
I like him. He's good.
He's basically like a a younger Mitch.
I
In a
I, I
sense.
don't like the fit though. I don't like Jackson Hayes with Zion. They see if I was them, I would trade Steven Adams for Porzingis. Now I would definitely call Dallas if I.
Oh
if
yeah,
I
that's
was
not
them.
happening.
Yeah, that's too much money, bro. There's too much money. The liability is way too big.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
That's
And so my point though to that is the Knicks have a lot of assets, and what we could do if we can't get a three, if we can't form a big three, then what we could do is refine those assets so that we could get a big three later on, like maybe moving up in the draft or maybe trading those assets for a guy to come in that's a complement to Julius Randle, as opposed to just getting a guy and thinking just because we got a guy he's going to fit with Randle. Because ideally, if you want a guy that's going to fit with Randle, you want a point guard that can play on the ball and off the ball. What killed Alfred Payton is Alfred Payton plays on the ball, but when Julius Randle has the ball, what does Alfred Payton do?
nothing.
No,
Passes it right
no.
back.
Right.
So we've talked about, like, the trades, the big trades that we would like to do, and I've been on the record to say that my number one big whale or great whale would be De'Aaron Fox. I've always said De'Aaron Fox, and behind De'Aaron Fox would be Karl Anthony Towns. Would you ever fathom making an RJ Barrett De'Aaron Fox swap
No man.
to
respect.
solidify your point guard position?
Nah man.
I would
Nah.
want RJ to play
And
with him.
get out the conundrum of the shooting guard, the tweener shooting guard, small forward player,
Nah, man. I don't.
and go for the guy that's
love,
gonna.
I would love De'Aaron Fox to play with RJ.
Yeah, word. I don't even know what made you fix your lips to even say that.
It's
With all
dude.
due respect.
Nah.
With
And Eddie,
all due respect.
I've been saying this. You could ask Uncle
It's
Freezy.
because-
I've been preaching
it's
him
because-
I was like the first one to preach him on the channel.
I'm
And
just
Knicks
not
Unite, like, a
sold.
month ago.
I'm just not sold on RJ. I mean, I like him.
I can tell. but-
He's on our team, and he does well, but I'm just not sold on him. And if I could get my hands on De'Aaron Fox, and they are asking for RJ Barrett, I think I would do that trade.
I'm not doing that. Let me give you some stats.
the only person I would really trade are the type of players.
I mean, it's
like
not
a
even about
Donovan
stats
Mitchell,
for me. It's not even
Donovan
about
Mitchell,
stats for me.
Devin Booker. Like those are the ones I would.
I mean,
Bro,
I guess you guys
really
hold
trade
RJ Barrett in really high regard, man.
Bro,
Hold him in higher regard than me.
For my parents. You think I'm a trader for De'Aaron Fox? Matter of fact,
What is your realistic
Hey,
goal
it's fourth
of what you think RJ Barrett is
Bro,
going to
bro,
be in the
bro.
future?
Bro,
Is he
Kawhi
like the
Leonard-
savior?
He's gonna be a 20
my
point
God.
per game scorer next season.
Right.
I could tell you that.
Kawhi
And
Leonard
and
in
Darren
fourth
Fox is already
season.
that.
All right,
And
but
he's
Eddie
also
C,
general-
Eddie
And
C,
he's a floor general, and he can
C,
shoot the
just,
ball,
Just imagine this.
and
Imagine
he's
if
clutch.
RJ didn't get held back in year one with a coach literally changing his jump shot, and imagine just a sustainable coaching staff in his first year, and what he would have been this season.
Yo,
You also got to
people
think
don't-
about those types of things. Like
People
he's
don't
not
like
getting,
18,
he's not playing.
6, and
They're
3
not,
no more.
they're not playing him like in a way in which he's more of a player. Like he's not a spot up shooter.
No.
They
At
need
all.
to run pick and rolls with him. They need to let him run the
And you
offense.
think you think that's like the fault of the coach and the organization? You think that we're seeing something that those guys in those seats are getting paid millions and millions of dollars
It's
for?
not that we're just seeing, is that they saw that Randall isoing was working so much throughout the season that they didn't bother changing it after that. That's the way
So
I
they
think
would
about it.
so they would hinder the development of their 20-year-old because they saw Randall was doing so well.
What?
And it goes back to what I'm saying before, of if the player is so good, it really doesn't matter what's happening. Everything is gonna revolve
I'm
around
not-
that player.
Like nobody's saying he's so good right now. You
So
can't
then why
expect him
wouldn't
to be
you
crazy
trade?
good right
Why
now.
wouldn't you trade an RJ Barrett for a De'Aaron Fox?
Because Kawhi
Because
Leonard-
I don't see the point.
So
16 points. That's why
what do you
I'm
mean?
not trading
Okay, so
RJ
what is the glaring need?
It don't matter.
It's a point guard to help the shooting guard, our young shooting guard, and our power forward. Not trading our shooting guard and then deleting those points, even though we get points at the point guard, for him to help who? Who is he gonna like? We need a shooting guard that's good too.
So
Like,
okay, we can agree that the chemistry has been better between Julius Randle and RJ Barrett, but are they a perfect fit?
no,
Does it matter?
Does De'Aaron Fox work better with whatever his name is?
I don't know.
RJ Randle, I was gonna say.
I don't know. I know that
I don't know.
Barrett averaging 18, 6, and 3 in his sophomore season when Kawhi Leonard averaged 16 points in his fourth year.
Yeah, but he was playing with Tim Duncan. He was playing with Tony Parker. They were and Manu Ginobili.
Bro, I'm not, bro. De'Aaron Fox is 23. He's playing for a franchise that haven't been to the playoffs since Pokemon Silver version came out.
And we have just because we went into the playoffs this year.
Hey, State, come on, bro. Why you shading Pokemon, bro? Come on, man.
Are you hating on Pokemon? What do you mean?
Why
You don't
on
rock with
bro?
Pokemon, Uncle Freezy?
He killing me right
What?
now.
No, why y'all hating? Why y'all hating?
No, I
bro?
thought you were. No, I thought you were. That's why you said that.
No, I asked State why he was.
Oh no, I think he
Come
was
on,
just saying
man.
that because that was a while ago.
Okay. All right.
RJ
Y'all-
Barrett.
Analogy.
Y'all lost me for a second.
Y'all
Bro.
lost me. It's RJ Barrett or death for me. He's untradeable. The last big man that was the best player on the championship team that won final MVP, that was 10 years ago. That was Dirk Nowitzki. The last 10 finals MVPs, 9 final MVPs was wings. I'm building my team. I need a superstar wing. I got one at 20 years old who's averaging 18, 6, and 4, who just was the second best player on the team that was fourth in the Eastern Conference.
State. When's the last time an NBA champion won an NBA title without the number one pick in the draft being a big man? Name it. When's the last time a team won a title without a big man that wasn't the number one pick?
The Raptors.
Yeah, you're right.
Golden State.
No, they had Andrew Bogut. He was the number one pick.
Cleveland.
He was the number one pick by the Bucks.
Cleveland. Huh? LeBron. Cleveland. Yeah, Cleveland.
You're right.
And before that, the Lakers. With Kobe.
Nah.
Paul Gasol wasn't a
Shaq was the number one. Shaq. Oh yeah, you're right. Okay. I see your point now. My point. I made a bad point.
No. Listen, man. It's nothing against Fox. He's cool, but when I'm looking at a guy, when I look at RJ, I just see I see a Hall of Famer. I see a guy who want to get better every year. I see a guy who's not going to fail me. I knew RJ was the one.
So where was he in these playoffs? Where was he in these playoffs? If he's so good,
he's 20. And first of all, he plays off Randall, and Randall was struggling in the playoffs.
If you that good, you can play at 20. If you as good, if you giving Hall of Famer quotes at 20, he should be balling.
Do you remember Paul?
Hold on.
Playoffs? Like, do you remember that? Like, stop this. Nah, I'm not taking that, RJ.
Yeah, y'all remember that?
Stop.
State. How good do you think Kobe Bryant is? What do you rank Kobe Bryant all time?
What, all time?
All time, period. All time.
He on my
top
list,
20.
All time.
Top 20.
Okay. So at 20, Kobe Bryant was what, a 14-point per game scorer?
No, he was better than that. Of course. He was a dominant. He was a clone of Mike.
I'm gonna look it up right now because I think he was 14.
So what you trying to say, Freezy? That RJ Barrett's gonna be better than Kobe?
No,
we're not saying that, but he has Kobe-esque.
No,
RJ Barrett is
so your argument was at 20 years old.
Y'all bugging, yo. Y'all bugging, man.
Yo, why
the argument was 20 years old. I just said that. The argument you said was 20 years old. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about that. I'm saying if that's the case, what we need to do is look at these stars when they were 20. Right? When Kobe Bryant was 20, he averaged 19.9 points a game, but he was in his third year. Kobe Bryant in his rookie year averaged 7 points a game.
Yeah, but you just said if we're gonna compare, we're gonna compare him to the age. Look, you already compared him. Kobe Bryant scored more points than him. And if y'all comparing
what did
Kobe
I
to
miss?
RJ, y'all bugging.
Wait,
I
who
ain't
to
comparing
RJ?
Kobe to
I just
RJ.
left for a minute. Who did you
Why
say?
won't you? Won't you give him
Why
the
won't I?
opportunity?
Because
All right, so
It's not about giving him the
so what
opportunity.
NEC
It's just
so what NEC what said was what NEC years old. If he is Hall of Fame caliber, then he should be better. But what I'm saying is Kobe in his rookie year averaged 7 points. In his second year, he averaged 15 points. RJ in his rookie year averaged 14 points. And in his second year, he averaged 17 points.
And look at Tatum too. You could look at Tatum and stuff. I'm not saying he's as good as them, but it's like, all right, let's look at Booker. Okay, Booker dropped 70 in one of his first few years, right? He's averaged 20 something. He's averaged 20 something his whole entire career so far. Until this year, literally nobody cared about those stats. Not one person cared about those stats. RJ's 18 points per game are more impactful than those 20, 26, 24 he's averaged so far. Like this year, Booker, like to me, Booker was not showing anything crazy. Like I love his scoring, but until he made it to the playoffs, he wasn't gonna show me anything. Until now, like he's still scoring that much. Like he's nice, he's good, but you gotta give. Like if he did bad, I wouldn't have been like going crazy on him. It's his first playoffs. It is what it is. Like you finally see him in it, but it's like, bro, RJ by the time he gets to Booker's age is gonna take 3.5 years.
Hey, but
you're gonna see jumps every year.
How would RJ Barrett have looked in this playoffs if he had Chris Paul in the backcourt with him?
Yeah, without Chris Paul, they weren't gonna make the playoffs. Like
and Jason Tatum's second year in the NBA, he averaged 15.7 points per game. RJ Barrett averaged 17.
RJ, he's
about?
been doing. He's been,
So then,
and that's being
accords,
a second. That's being the
accords,
second best player on the team, and that's what
we're
him
going
being
by
the best.
first year players and how much they scored and how old they are. There's a player last year that got picked in the first with the first pick, who scored more points than all those guys.
Right.
Zion.
Right.
What the hell was that? Oh.
No, Anthony Edwards.
So we saying he's better than all of those. Like Anthony Edwards scored more points than RJ Barrett.
Yeah, but
and you're gonna sit here and say that Anthony Edwards is not better than RJ Barrett?
He's not.
He's not.
Okay, but Eddie,
basketball you guys watching, yo? You guys are just homers and stuff. You doing?
No,
you're NBA fans,
you
yo.
gotta understand the impact of scoring to winning matters too.
This is the only year that we've won.
Not how many shots you hit is when you hit
Yes, I
them.
understand, but this is also his second year. That's his second year, so you don't have a sample
This is Anthony Edwards' first year, and he's averaged 19 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. What are you saying?
And what did he come into? He came into a
He's
team
19.
where he was inefficient. He came into a team he was inefficient shooting.
So was
crazy
RJ Barrett last year?
He was. That's what I'm trying to tell. I'm trying to tell you that he was inefficient, but he was still not shooting as many shots. You have a player that you're running the offense through him. Cal was out that whole entire period when Anthony Edwards was on the team. They were making him their closer too. And even when Cal was there, you saw him being the closer.
Yep.
I don't know.
And so what I'm saying about Anthony Edwards is, how is this a comparison when a man shot 41% from the field?
He's a better basketball player. It doesn't matter how much he shot, bro. He's a better basketball player. He's a more athletic player. He's a more fluid player. You can see it in his game. You can see him develop into a more.
That's obvious.
That's the only part that I'm talking about. I don't talk about these numbers, what happened this year, what happened and what age. I'm talking about the player as he is, the way he plays ball. When you go and you play basketball, and you go to the park, you picking the best player that can ball. You're not talking about, oh, he's 20, he's 19, he did this. Oh, he averaged 4 rebounds. No, you're not looking at that, bro.
You just said athleticism, though. That was your sticking point just now.
That was it. Yeah, as
Athleticism
long as you
don't
say,
win you
as long as
championships.
Right. Athleticism is a big part of the NBA. Now, none of
But
these
it don't
superstar
win you
players,
championships.
besides a Jokic, is not athletic. Donovan Mitchell is athletic.
He has skill.
Right.
That has nothing to do with his athleticism. He's skilled.
But
Did you see his
the
handle?
athleticism is part of your skill. Give me a player that's so skillful without being named Jokic that is not athletic.
Kevin Durant.
What? He's not athletic?
He's not that athletic.
Kevin Durant is super athletic.
He
Come
was
on, bro.
very athletic. He's not that athletic now.
He's super athletic, bro. He's Kevin Durant with a torn Achilles is more athletic than RJ Barrett.
Yo, bro.
Yo, you're
Nah, man, y'all bugging, man. I don't know what y'all watching,
Yo,
bro.
okay.
I don't know what y'all watching, bro.
What is athletic about? KD is one of my favorite players, but it's like, bro, he doesn't even go into the lane like that. He shoots his signature mid range and he shoots his pull up threes. He barely goes into the lane. Like, where are you gonna see athleticism?
And he's not more. And RJ Barrett is more athletic than
Luka.
Kevin Durant.
Luka too.
I see it.
Paul Pierce athletic?
I don't think KD is that athletic. I don't know.
It was a different ball game.
Hold on. Paul Pierce athletic?
When Paul Pierce was playing,
hold on, y'all.
athleticism was
Hold on, y'all. Hold on, real quick. Hey, Kaiser Sosa, I didn't see your super chat, man. You got to pardon me for that, but I'm gonna read it right now. Thank you for the super chat. Fox can't even get the team he's on to play in game. Stop it. So thank you.
Yeah, their coaching sucks. Salute Souza, but their coaching sucks. Luke Walton is like, I think he's probably the worst coach in the NBA with a job.
Okay.
What y'all gonna say about that?
He's the point guard. He's the leader. He's supposed to lead. 15.
Yeah,
years.
man. But if you're not in a good situation, bro, if you're not happy where you work, you're not gonna be productive. It doesn't matter how good you are at what you do.
Them checks still
you're always gonna look for a better place.
Bro, let's get back to
Luka Doncic. I like that. That Paris Duga. Luka Doncic, yeah, he's not super athletic, but
skilled.
he is a skillful player.
James Harden.
I actually liken him to oh man, what do you call those players? What do you call those geniuses? The word skips my mind right now, but he's one of those. Prodigy. Thank you. He's a prodigy.
Right.
Nah.
Hey, so Eddie C said something that I agree with. When he talked about coaches, I do kind of agree with that.
Yeah, Luke Walton is trash.
Yeah, Luke Walton, man, come on, bro. And I say the same thing about Fizdale. Fizdale was here. He ruined RJ Barrett.
Fizdale was super trash. Like,
Fizdale was not even a coach. He was legit like
that
friend.
car salesman. That car salesman thing like really sticks with him. Like, yo, he's legit car salesman.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you.
What was Fox stats last season?
I had them pulled up and I just closed out. Let me go.
25 points a game, 1.5 steals, 7.2 assists, 3.5 rebounds. He shot 72% from the free throw line, 53% from the two, and 32% from three. Dude is a stud, bro. This dude is a stud. He's my number one guy over Cat.
Sounds cool. I'd rather go to war with Sexton.
Nah, I'd rather get De'Aaron Fox. Nah, that's crazy. I've been saying this for the last 2 months that I want De'Aaron Fox on the team.
Fox. Listen, man.
He plays defense. He can play defense.
He's a mid.
And
he has a mid-level defender. And he could score.
He has a clutch shot where he gets to the left elbow and shoots a mid range, and it's automatic.
He don't got that. He want to win vibe.
He did it to us.
He don't give me that vibe.
He did it to us when Sacramento beat us. He made those two shots 2 times in a row on the left elbow. Got to that spot, shot that mid range 2 times. Game over. Bam.
What happened this season?
Yeah. Nah, and so the thing is their rookie hit a shot over our rookie and looked at us breezy. You remember when Halliburton hit the 2 shots back to back?
He's salty though. He's salty.
Yeah, he mad.
Bro, you saw how he posted the teacup thing with Kermit.
Yeah.
Bro, like that's so corny, bro. He's
Oh,
acting
no,
like
we
so
got
many
him back.
teams
That's
didn't
all right,
pick him, bro.
bro.
We got
Like
him
That's
back.
one of them. That's one
I
of them
just hope
like
every
one of them
single time he
toxic
comes here, bro,
girlfriends that.
we smoke him, bro.
That's one of them
Yeah.
toxic exes. It's all right. He'll be all right. He'll
He's
be
not
all
a
right.
bad player. I was never like I never bought into him. The only person is LaMelo and OB feature.
I actually
I didn't like his jump shot at
I
all.
liked Halliburton a lot, and I thought that Halliburton could work with R.J. Barrett. I think that would have been actually a backcourt of the future. But
That
I
could have
guess
worked,
the
but I just
management didn't see it that way. I think the management were so sold on Julius Randle not being here after this trade deadline that they said we need somebody to back him up.
they're not the only one that was sold.
Yeah, it was all of us. It was all of us, bro.
But
Like ain't
I
nobody.
was so pissed after he didn't get traded. Like it wasn't even funny. And then hearing EP was coming back, like that was just a double hitter. That was just
I
bad.
still won't be surprised if he don't get traded at next trade deadline
Nah, that trade that you were saying before was just crazy to me.
Which one was it? The Barrett for Diarra?
The Jordan, Clarkson, and Royce O'Neal. That was just crazy.
Oh man, it's just
I don't know.
I
what
don't
you were
see.
thinking.
You know what it
I don't
is?
know
You know what it is,
thinking.
Adukin? Like Julius Randle is a good player.
No,
but
I
for
agree
some
with
reason
you.
I don't feel like his value is good enough so that we can get like tangible assets.
No, I think his value
for
is
Julius
but,
Randle.
But I mean, I think
I
his
don't think
value
there's people
good.
knocking down our doors to get Julius Randle.
Shit.
I think you could be right in that, but I think that some teams are willing to give a good amount of assets.
And the reason why I put out the Jordan Clarkson and the Royce O'Neal was because they were on good contracts. And Royce O'Neal solidifies our small forward position because I know Utah is smart. I know Utah is smart,
that was just
and they don't overpay.
Bad.
They don't overpay for players. And Jordan Clarkson is a 20-point scorer. And he's just coming off the bench because Donovan Mitchell's there.
Yeah, well,
they win the chip. He get in the bag. He definitely get in the bag.
Freezy,
Right.
You remember when you brought up DeJounte Murray a few days ago?
Ooh.
I've been thinking about it a little more. And I'm looking at it right now.
That's a sneaky.
It's like to me, it's like I don't see him getting traded or wanting to leave just because DeMar's, I think 100% leaving the team this season, this off season. So it like gives him and Devin Vassell, whatever they have there, Lonnie Walker, an opportunity to grow together. But if he requests a trade, I definitely see us being very high up there on the list of being able to get him.
Right.
And I would be very interested.
I think they would move from DeJounte Murray because his contract is a sizable contract, and where they're picking in the draft is somewhere where you can get a Davion Mitchell or a Josh Giddey if you really want to swing for the fences. So they can, and I think they also have I forgot the name of the point guard, but they have another point guard. He's got a big forehead. I forget his name,
White?
bro. Yeah, White. Eric White.
Yeah.
So
he's more of like a shooting guard though.
But he can play. He looks like he plays the point for them at times. I think he was hurt last year.
He is sometimes. Yeah, he was.
And DeJounte Murray is also somebody that's been hurt. So if they can move off DeJounte Murray, I think they would do that. I don't think the Knicks would be smart to pick up a player like that, though.
The thing is, to me, though, they would need a good amount for DeJounte Murray because they don't really got a good point guard behind him. Like, Derek White is okay, but it's like, to me, if he wanted to request a trade, they obviously have to do it, but they need to get something in return. In his form of caliber.
And this player, I mentioned him before, bro, and I'm in love with this player in the draft, man. Like, if you guys get a chance, go watch the ESPN breakdown of Davion Mitchell. I saw the interview, and his look, bro, he just screams like this guy is gonna be real.
Eddie C, you giving me this hoodie Kev vibe, bro.
Dog, like,
yeah,
dog, I'm in love with this player, dog. Like, I really am. Like,
we all have that player. We all have that player, but it's
I think he's somebody that he just has the look. You know what I'm saying? I think he's somebody that could solidify a point guard position for the future. I think he's a leader. You know what I'm saying? And State's saying that he wants a dog. I think this kid is a dog.
Yeah,
Like,
I think he is
he
too.
started at Auburn, he ended up at Baylor, so he's been around. He's not wet behind the ears. He's ready to come and play. He's
we
ready
just
to come and play.
there's just no way we're getting him.
Hey, hold on for a second. Hey, Eddie, see, you got headphones in?
Might be
I don't know if
State.
it was me. I don't know if it was me, if it was a Duke. And
Oh no, I hear it too. I think it might be State or Eddie.
Hey, State, you got headphones in, man?
I don't hear it no more. I think it was probably my fan. I had my fan on.
Oh, okay.
Oh, damn it. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's not there anymore.
Yeah.
Dude, but yeah, man, like that's the cat that I'm looking at is like, dude, like, and he's plays the position that we need. You know what I'm saying? Like he plays the point guard position.
I'm good, bro. I'm good on 22-year-old lottery picks, bro. I'm good. Tibbs gonna play him 10 minutes a game. He gonna average 5 points, 1 assist. I'm good, bro.
I got a question. How do you guys?
No,
how
I
do you guys
disagree,
feel
bro.
about a
I
Doug
disagree.
McDermott reunion?
Hell no.
I like McDermott. I have him on my list here as somebody that we might pay for to come off the bench.
How do you feel?
I would rather draft Corey Kispert and get the same production.
See what I don't like. The thing is about Kisper is his jump shot is a little slow, but the thing I worry most about is since he's a 3, I don't know how he's gonna guard a 3. Like I can't imagine him guarding a 3. Like it's like, yeah, I don't know how he's gonna do it.
I know he's taller, but he gives me like JJ Redick vibes on D.
Yeah.
But I like him as a player. Like he's going 9th, projected 9th, but and I guess it just depends on the team that like in New Orleans, he's probably a good fit, probably, because you can probably slide. Man, I keep on messing up these. I don't even smoke, man. I don't remember none of these players, bro. Brandon Ingram, you can probably slide Brandon Ingram to the 2 and play Corey Kispert at the 3.
Let me ask y'all a different thing, man, because the possibilities on this topic are endless, right? Let me ask y'all this. Would you consider replacing Johnny Bryant with a coach that is heavy offensive minded?
You wouldn't have to replace him because it's an opening. Remember,
yeah, because we don't have Kenny Woodson. We don't have what is his name? Woodson. So we have an extra spot, don't we?
Nah, I thought you brought up Aaron Brooks full time.
Nah, Aaron Brooks is
I didn't see that. I don't
know. He's the player developmental CEO or something like that. So we need like an offensive mind.
I want us to keep Johnny Bryant because of how you actually think Donovan Mitchell.
I actually think the coach that we're gonna lose this year is gonna be Kenny Payne. I think he's gonna go to a college. The same way that Woodson went to college halfway through the season. It's the best time because that's the recruiting time. Right after the season finishes, we're mid-season of our or closer to the end of the season, and I think Kenny Payne will be gone, and I see RJ Randall going with him. Like I don't see RJ Randall being here for the long term.
RJ Randall? RJ Randall?
I always say RJ Randall, dude. I always say RJ Randall. I don't know why. I can never say Julius Randle or I can never say RJ Barrett. I just don't know why, dude. I just do it.
So which one was it? I'm so confused.
It was Julius Randle. Like I don't see him staying because I don't know. It's just a really tough decision, actually, man. That's one of the toughest decisions that has to be made by the organization, and I think in like all of the NBA, man, it's like really, really tough. The Julius Randle predicament, bro. Like
to me, it's more political. The way I think about it.
The payment, his position, what we have of it at his position is so difficult, man. Like these guys are not going to be easy to decide on what they have to do.
I just hope we don't let Johnny Bryant go because he was with Donovan Mitchell, and I see that he's always with RJ. and I think he needs that type of guy that's by his side to call things out, because Kenny Payne is more of that big man type of guy. Like
Yeah.
he got Randall, Kevin Knox, and Obi,
Nah,
more of the
keep
big man type, and
KP.
then you got Johnny Bryant for the guards, like the
Yeah.
shooting guards,
Yo, hear me out with
point
this.
guards.
I always thought that Tom Thibodeau, it was going to be exactly like the Golden State scenario,
The Mark Jackson.
where Mark Jackson came in, put everybody on the defense, you know, solidified that side of the ball, was tough nosed, ain't nobody messing with Mark, ain't nobody messing with Tibbs. And Johnny Bryant was going to be the Steve Kerr that would come in 2-3 years later
Strongly agree.
to take over and take us to the next level.
That's not a hot
But
take, brother. That's not a hot
the
take.
thing is,
Mhm.
coach of the year, bro. Like
The coach of the regular season means nothing.
the guy won coach of the year.
Coach of the year,
And these
earned
things keeps on happening to us.
Yeah, he
Like
deserved
we
that.
have like these plans and like these backup plans, but the front plans just keep on exploding on us, and it puts us in these predicaments. It's the same thing with Julius Randle.
Yeah, I still think we weren't expected to be good this season by the front office.
No.
Yeah, so it kind of did ruin the plans with Tibbs, because they didn't think that they were going to get this much out of everyone, especially Randall.
And Tibbs is old, man. Tibbs is old, man. Like he ain't
Tibbs
gonna
is-
do this.
Right. Now, I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Like,
but the thing with Steve Kerr though, replacing Mark Jackson had a 52% win percentage with the Golden State Warriors, right?
Facts.
Right. One year they were 51-31. Right. And so he did good with the talent that he had available to him. But Steve Kerr coming into that seat was not just a Johnny on the spot, no pun intended, right? Steve Kerr played for Phil Jackson. Steve Kerr played for Greg Popovich. So he was around great coaches himself before he got to that spot. Johnny Bryant never played for Phil Jackson and played with Michael Jordan. Johnny Bryant never played for, Greg Popovich and played with two number one overall picks in David Robinson and Tim Duncan, right? So while Johnny Bryant may be a great coach, I think the situation is a little bit different in that when they were looking to take that step to the next level, Steve Kerr was the guy because he was already a GM once, right? And got his fill and left and decided that he wanted to coach and happened to go coach a guy with a similar skill set that he had when he played in the NBA. Right? Right? So Steve Kerr, people forget Steve Kerr was an excellent shooter as an NBA player, right? And he was a tough defender. He wasn't great. Steve Kerr probably wasn't even a good defender, but he was gritty, kind of like in that Ron Baker sense.
he
right?
was a shooter.
Yeah,
and he was, and everyone remembers that shot MJ passed up to him.
Yeah.
He hit that mid range.
He said that was his happiest moment, I guess.
Yeah, that was his claim to fame, right?
Next to him getting punched by MJ, like the two things you mainly know about.
But that part right there is where he actually was probably able to get that pass, because from him standing up to MJ, for him standing up to MJ, then MJ at the end of the day trusted him for that big shot. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's like, yo, if this guy's gonna step to me, being as small as he is, like this moment ain't too big for him. Like he's getting this pass and he's making this shot, and that's what happened.
And so what I was going to say though, to end what I was saying is, who better to design an offense that caters to get open looks for spot up shooters than Steve Kerr himself? Because when you watch Golden State out of bounds plays, bro, they don't run conventional picket fence like we learned in eighth grade basketball.
A bunch of off ball picks and a bunch of movement, like especially Curry is a very underrated off ball like
So
his off ball.
who's the guy that
and
you
screener
Yeah, and screen like he kind of does what
because
RJ does in a sense. You see how RJ sets that pick under the basket,
right.
like that little pick, and then he moves out. He does that a bunch of times after someone sets an off ball, and then he runs around to the corner or back to the top of the key. That's a very underrated skill.
Right. Hey, that's Klay Thompson's play.
Yeah,
What they run with RJ Barrett is the Klay Thompson play. Like for the two, because he starts out at the top. He screens for the power forward, right? Think about Klay Thompson screens for Draymond Green for Draymond to get it. And by the time you recognize that Klay Thompson is on the wing open, it's too late. It's like the sniper. It's like the sniper putting the red dot on your head. By the time the red dot is on your forehead, by the time you recognize it, it's too late. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh snap! I got a red dot on my head. Oh, too late, bro. You're gonna.
So do you have a coach in mind when you said that, or?
No. What I'm
he was
saying
just
is
talking about the Steve Kerr, the way they
Oh, that
run
was
it.
because I thought
Very
you probably
fluid.
had like a. You were saying something about an offensive-minded coach. I thought you had somebody in mind, a particular coach.
I do have somebody in mind, and when I say their names, y'all are gonna laugh. But y'all, when y'all think back to what happened, y'all are gonna be like, "Oh yeah, you're right." But if you remember, the Knicks had a coach named Caleb Canales, right? And what happened is Mike Miller got the job over Caleb Canales, right? And Caleb Canales wanted to, and he is one of the co-inventors of this thing called Dame Time, right? So what happened is I don't know if y'all remember, but the New Orleans Pelicans developed a defense. They high trap pick and roll against Portland, and they embarrassed Dame Lillard.
Yeah,
And so
they legit trapped every way he could go.
right. They cut him off, and they forced him to do something with the ball 20 feet away from the basket. So Caleb Canales and Terry Stotts came up with an offense. We came up with an offense where they can get one guy in the offense free for a wide open 3-point shot. And it wound up being the offense that they run today. You know what I'm saying? It got Terry Stotts fired eventually because they couldn't progress any further.
I actually thought it was somebody else that you were gonna say.
No, I got it.
I thought it was gonna be Kenny Atkinson.
No, Kenny Atkinson. Kenny Atkinson is the dude that found a lottery ticket on the ground just walking along, and he picked it up and scratched it, and it was a winner. That's Kenny Atkinson in my mind, right? But the other guy I was gonna say is the dude that coached our summer league team 3 years ago, a dude named Judd Bushler. He actually played on those. Yeah, he played on the Bulls teams with Steve Kerr, right? And he was the guy that was unlocking our first round pick that year, a dude named Kevin Knox, right? So what happens is they fire Judd Bushler, right, and replace him with a doofus, some clown. And you automatically see Kevin Knox regress to the point where Kevin Knox looks like a bust, right? Judd Bushler at the Las Vegas Summer League, the year Kevin Knox was a rookie, coached that team, and he ran every possible scenario for Kevin Knox. And he had Kevin, and this is Summer League, so I'm not saying this is something that you can go by and write it down in your books. But given time, it may have been something. But Judd Bushler was unlocking the high screener role with Mitchell Robinson and Kevin Knox. And Kevin Knox going. So here's the thing. Do y'all remember Kevin Knox's floater? Remember when Kevin Knox had a floater?
Yeah, he would do it.
Yeah, Kentucky players seem to have all those floaters in their game.
Right.
Even Tyrese Maxey was doing it.
Right. Kevin Knox had a floater at one point, and David Fizdale took it out of his game.
And Fizdale is a
sick man, bro. He was like, he set back the team by a year. I'll just say that. He set back all the young guys, especially by a year.
And those guys, fucking Steve Mills and got so hoodwinked by Fizdale, man. Like, and Scott Perry went on with it too. Like Scott Perry went on with it too.
Right.
Like they wanted this trifecta to happen, and it was just a debacle.
And it was a debacle. It was terrible. It was terrible. But the point I was getting at though is when you have these guys, when you have these coaches that know how to get shooters open, you should keep those guys around. Like Caleb Canal, to me, the first mistake that they made post David Fisdale was not starting Mo Harkless over Knox, but hiring Mike Miller over Caleb Canales.
Yeah, I thought actually Caleb Canales would have gotten the job.
Right.
But
right.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you what the decision behind that was. Maybe I have no idea, man. Like, you know how it is behind closed doors. Sometimes it's personalities. Sometimes there's a lot of different things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right. The thing is kind of like what I do with Hadouk and some. Like when Duke has like a series of great points, what I try to do is stop everybody else from jumping in and let Duke get in his bag and let him build on those things. The same thing with Eddie. Like when Eddie do something, I'll be like, yo, just let him rock. And so what happened with Kevin Knox in that situation, you have a dude with some type of potential. You got to see what you got. What the Knicks did was do the opposite. They was like, he's not Jason Tatum yet. Why is he not Jason Tatum yet? You're like, dog, what are you talking about? Why is he not Jason Tatum yet? It took Jason Tatum 3 years.
Because Wayne Ellington is a max player and Reggie Bullock is a max player. That's why.
Yeah.
You know what I think it is? I think that the management, and I'm talking about this management, I think that they see Knox as a 4.
Yeah.
And seeing Knox as a 4, as we saw during the season, he's clearly behind Obi. Because the only time Knox got on the floor was when Obi didn't get on the floor.
And we all know he's not 6'7". Like when you see him stand next to RJ, he looks like a 6'9".
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. Knox is 6'9". Knox and Obi is the same size. Obi's just way bigger.
Hey,
I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. They don't. I know. I've heard so many times throughout the beginning of the season that they don't want to play him at the 3 anymore. They want to play him at the 4. So that was the main thing that.
And I don't think that's wrong. I don't think having Knox at the 4 is wrong. Like I think he can do great things at the 4 because he can stretch out that floor from the 4 spot.
He just doesn't.
If he has to, he's just not strong enough. Like let's say he has to play Jason Collins, right? He's just not strong enough to bang with Jason Collins. But on the other side of the floor, I think he can work. He can work on Jason Collins. I think he can take a 1-2 dribble and shoot.
Jason Collins,
yeah. I think what's the point with Jason? Like I'm saying, if you're gonna put Knox at the 4, I don't think he's strong enough to bang with a Jason Collins.
Jason Collins, man, who are you talking about?
The power forward from Atlanta?
John Collins?
John Collins.
Yeah. Dude, I do this all the time, dude.
That's funny. No, bro.
I do this all the time. Oh, Jason Collins is the son of the
Because you were thinking about, he said Jason Tatum, and then you were thinking of John Collins.
Dude, I do this all the time, dude.
Bro,
like,
you just put me in a time portal. You put me in a time portal, bro. You like Jason Collins. I'm like, from 10 years ago?
I'll be doing that, bro. I'm gonna start calling our power forwards Kevin Toppin.
People said Jason Collins don't play no more. Yeah, I was so confused too for a second.
John Collins.
I was like,
John
this
Collins,
might have been someone that played like 20 years ago.
Yeah, I'm just gonna say like the player and the position and the team. Like that's the only way I'm gonna get it. I'm horrible with names, bro.
Yeah, you just killed me, bro. You just put me in a time. You put me in a
like
time
Jason
portal.
Collins. Yeah, he's not gonna be able. Yeah, he's not strong enough to bang with Jason Collins. But John Collins, yeah, the player that I'm talking about was John Collins. Like I think on the offensive side, he can be okay. He can shoot the 3. I think he can get to the 1-2. But when John Collins' defense is kind of trash.
To get paid too, you see this offseason.
And I don't think he's getting resigned. Like I don't think Atlanta's going to resign because they gave a lot of money to Danilo Gallinari. And to be honest with you, I think DeAndre Hunter is strong enough now to play that 4. Like DeAndre Hunter.
No, they also have to give Trae Young his. But he was drafted by them, so they could.
Oh, Trae Young is a foregone conclusion. Like
yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna pay him a lot this offseason too.
Yeah,
that's what I'm trying to say.
So next year, probably we're gonna see a DeAndre Hunter at the 4 and Cam Reddish at the 3 and stuff like that.
You remember how I said Freezy they rushed Hunter for 2 games and he got injured.
He gets injured right after he kills us, bro.
Look, he got injured. Okay, he tore something in his foot. He got injured. He came back. He played 2 games, got injured until the playoffs,
Right.
and then he played a few playoff games and he had surgery again.
Yo, I was
Right.
so mad at that.
That's not even Hunter. That's bro.
That's
These
Atlanta.
doctors,
Right.
they need to get checked up, bro. You can't be doing like,
Right.
bro.
Yeah, they
Are we
wanted
being
to get that
serious?
series. Like they wanted to go to the second round. Like they put going to the
And that's
second round
crazy.
ahead of their player.
And Hunter is nice. I mean, he didn't do like crazy good in the playoffs, but he's nice. Like he was
That-
averaging 17 before he got injured.
Right.
Like, he
And
was looking nice.
I'm gonna tell y'all something. I think they're gonna trade Gallinari because Gallinari looks like a serious overpay at this point.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to trade.
Overpay.
Yeah,
gonna
he
be
hasn't
hard to
even showed
trade.
up that much in the playoffs. Like
Right.
he's made timely threes, but
Right.
other than that, he hasn't really showed up.
Can
Like
you
they
get
look
timely
they
three
look
from
great
somebody
against
else?
us, but they're looking like trash against Philly. Like because Philly can play
Yeah.
D. Like
Bro.
those are that's a legit defensive team. Like everybody can play D on that team.
Look
yo.
at how they're guarding Trae Young. You see, they had Danny Green on him the first game, but then look, they had adjustments.
I
They
told
started
State on
putting-
Twitter.
They started putting Matisse
I told State
Thybulle.
on Twitter, dog.
And you know
Yo,
Matisse Thybulle is a
I got that
like, he's
time. I got
crazy
that
on
time
defense.
stone.
He's
I
gonna
got
piss
that
you
time
off on
stone.
defense. He's gonna
Yeah,
I
piss you
told
off
State on Twitter, dog. State was like, "Yo, why is this Danny Green?" And I said, "Yo, by halftime, Ben Simmons is gonna be guarding Trey." Halftime, what happened? First play of the game, Ben Simmons was guarding him. Dog, I know I does this, dog. I does
that favorite
this.
word. You know that favorite word Hadou can just say? Adjustments.
Yeah, I said it purposely like that because
like-
we
Right,
didn't
but-
see a
but-
lot
but we
against
don't-
them.
But the thing about it though is we don't have
Those
don't
an
have
defensive
elite
players.
defensive. Yeah, we don't have elite defensive rotation players.
Plus,
Oh,
all
oh,
their players are tall too. Like they're tall
Yeah.
defensive players.
We don't
that
even
play.
have a Matisse Thybulle on our squad, yo.
Oh no, Matisse
No.
Thybulle is
Yes,
like
we
crazy.
do.
No, we don't. Matisse Thybulle is a
No, we
crazy
don't.
defender.
No, we don't.
He-
Frank
bro, I'm telling you right now-
Ntilikina is not. Frank
Yeah,
Ntilikina
yeah.
is not Matisse
Yo,
Thybulle.
Matisse
He's one of our
Thybulle-
and Ntilikina is one of our best.
Yo,
Ntilikina is
Watch
honestly
a
one of-
Matisse Thybulle.
Yo,
Watch a Matisse Thybulle
nah,
highlight
yo.
defense video, bro.
Right.
He gets like a shot comes off the board and someone gets it. He's chasing right after them, bro.
Right.
There was this one possession he got a steal, transition. They got a bucket. And then he came right back and blocked someone at the three, like running towards. Like
I can't
he's
wait
a
till
crazy,
Frank-
annoying defender, bro.
I can't
Like,
wait
you don't
till
wanna play
Frank
against
is
him.
off this team and Frank is on another team.
Bro, I like
Hey,
Frank, but
it's
Frank is not
finally
like him, bro.
season. I
Frank,
hear
you
you.
can't compare Frank's. Frank has good defense. Matisse Thybulle has
he's
elite
not Matisse
defense.
Thybulle.
Matisse
So-
Thybulle is
right.
elite
So what does
defense.
a qualifying offer look like for Ntilikina for him to become an unrestricted free agent next year?
I think we're gonna pay if we keep him like 4 to 8 mil, probably 4.6 actually 4 to 6.
For 1 year, right?
I think they're gonna do a multi-year.
Yeah, they're gonna do multi-year for Frank.
Yeah, because they could get him on the cheap if they really want to.
Yeah,
'Cause they
and-
can't
and-
trade him anymore.
So you're talking about like 3 years, 12 mil, something like that?
yeah, something like that. 3.
I think I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay
I
with
wouldn't
that.
be, bro. We have cap space. Like we
Right,
gotta fill our
No, but it's not
roster
about
up.
the cap space. It's about how much.
No,
we're
but
gonna
I'm
pay
saying
a
I'm
player.
not mad if we overpay him by like 2 mil. Like it's like everyone knows he's gonna be cheap, and we need to fill the roster up. Like we need to. I'm so confused on who we're gonna get. That's my main thing. Like we have
It's tough,
so
man.
many
It's tough,
roster
bro. Like,
spots open, and it's like the amount of people in this free agency is just little to nothing.
like the
Right.
beginning argument of this podcast is that there are so many options.
Right.
Like, so it's like it's really tough to for whoever's doing it. It's really tough because nobody knows what they're talking about, right? All it knows what we talk about in these podcasts and what the arguments that we bring up and the things that we think about, but nobody knows exactly. Nobody knows if behind closed doors they're like, I really want Lonzo Ball, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Some people-
don't see us going for Dame because to me it wouldn't make sense for him,
Right.
and it wouldn't make sense for us.
Right.
Yes.
As soon as the coach was gone, I was like, if the coach is gone, the player's staying.
Yeah, I mean, even if that though, he could still leave. Like that's the thing,
CJ
but it's like,
McCollum now. CJ
for
McCollum
us,
now.
I don't know.
That was the trade. That
You
was the
guys-
trade.
you guys
Freeze.
think we
It
get-
was
we
Draymond
get a
Green for
crazy
CJ
trade?
McCollum.
You
It
think
was
we get a-
Draymond Green for CJ McCollum.
Why
Nah,
the
Draymond's
hell-
not leaving. I think that team is staying packed. The only one that could move, I think, is Wiggins. I really don't think that none of them are getting traded because they wanna run it back.
Right.
I hope
And
it's
think
not
they
to the
made it
Knicks.
clear to them. Wait, what did you
Right.
say?
I hope it's not to the Knicks.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. But it's like
So I'm gonna
you.
throw this bombshell out there. I'm gonna throw this live grenade in the room,
I'm
and I
about to
already
bounce.
know, and I already know what y'all gonna say, and y'all gonna be mad at me, but whatever. Hey man, I'm over Derrick Rose. Goodbye, Derrick Rose.
Oh, yeah, I was hearing you say this.
Yo, goodbye, Derrick Rose.
I'm
Peace.
not too mad.
Yeah,
Peace,
nah, I
Derrick
think
Rose.
he's gonna be signed, man. Like
I'm not
for
too
real.
mad if it's. I'm
Nah,
not mad if it's
nah.
off the bench. That's all I'm saying. And if it's
No,
a
I
good
ain't
deal,
giving him. I ain't giving him nothing.
I think I want
I
quickly.
got him down here for 2 years, 24 mil, 12 years, 12 mil a year.
No.
I got hey for the love of the game podcast. What's good, Coach Z in the building?
who do you want though? Like in that
Yo,
spot.
yo, man, I would
I
love to see.
have Spencer Dinwiddie with Rose backing him up, but
No.
you
Yo,
can
whoa,
really
stay, bro. Did you Spencer Dinwiddie was legit playing like an all-star
All I
last
could think of,
season.
all I could think about,
dude. When
is
I mentioned him,
injury,
it wasn't nobody
ACL.
mentioning Spencer Dinwiddie.
All I could think about is
Yeah,
ACL,
I'll be forgetting about
injury,
Spencer.
injury prone, Knicks, blue and orange, injuries, ex-players. I'm good, bro. I
And
lived
I
through
was
that in my teenage years. I'm good, bro. I'm
and I
good.
was also the one that said that I think that next year quickly is gonna start at point.
Yeah, I heard that.
What,
I don't buy into that.
yeah, what I'm saying is you can get backup point guards from anywhere, bro.
Word.
You can get them from anywhere.
Yeah, you can get a
You know what
TJ
I'm saying?
McConnell.
Yeah, you can get
Something like
TJ.
that.
I like TJ, bro.
Yo, he's
Man,
TJ
to me
McConnell?
he's like him and Mike Scott from the Philadelphia 76ers are Knicks killers.
yeah.
Every
Yeah,
single
but we
time,
don't need
especially
no
on the
we
December
don't need no
games.
power forwards. We don't
Nah,
need
no,
no power
I don't want Mike
forwards.
Scott. I'm just saying, but TJ McConnell, he's a point guard, and he's like annoying. He's one of those annoying point guards too.
Dude, we gotta get up. We gotta move up to 10 and pick Davion Mitchell, dog.
I don't think
That's where I'm
he's
at.
not there at 10.
That's where I'm at.
Hey, Eddie C, man, can you please let your Davion Mitchell tattoo heal first? This dude is killing me, man.
Yo,
with
man,
Davion Mitchell, bro.
but watch that tape, man. For reals,
No,
watch
he's
that
nice.
tape.
No, yeah,
Watch that tape, man. That tape was.
it's not
I
available to
like
us.
it. Now, what I'm saying is,
And Michael Brogdon is injury prone.
What about
Malcolm?
Luka Valdoza?
Michael Brogdon. I like Luca. I think actually Luca Vildoza is gonna get some burn next year.
Hadouken. Who did he say?
Yeah, I don't want I've been saying this since it came out that everyone. I know you're not overhyping him, but like, bro, I've been hearing like he's like Luka Doncic. He's like this. He's like that. I don't want to hear it, bro.
Nah. I don't
think he's
think
gonna
he's
be
that.
mid.
If he can be a Jose Calderon, he's a good third
I
stringer.
hope he's gonna be good, but I think he's gonna be mid. I think he's gonna be mid,
Right.
like a backup. He's not starting. I hope he doesn't start.
Yeah, I don't think he'll start. I don't think he'll start
have
either.
someone that's good to be able to start over him. I don't think he's bad at all. I'm not like, I just don't think he's like
If we
as
go
crazy
in
as
the next season and I see Luka Vildoza as my starting point guard, I'm going to find Leon Rose my damn self.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro. I don't know why people want to see that. Like that would legit piss me off.
I
So
demand that the Knicks, I demand that they get me Lonzo Ball or Colin Sexton for RJ Barrett.
Do you want Devontae Graham?
I'll take Devontae too. Ooh,
no.
I'll take Devontae too.
I like Devontae. I like him. He's fearless. He's
cool,
fearless.
yeah.
I like him though. I like his game.
What do you
He's
think?
fearless. He's fearless, but I still like a little bit more height on my players in general, like on any position.
He had an off season this year.
To be honest with you, I don't know who Michael Brogdon is.
Malcolm
Brogdon.
He said who's Michael?
Yes, he did.
Wait, why did he say who's Jose Calderon? That's an actual person.
That's an actual person. Yeah.
Yeah, I said his name right.
Yeah. You fixed it. You said it after, and I knew you just messed up a little bit. So it is whatever. But it's like
Jason Collins.
How do you? Okay.
Kevin Toppin.
Devontae Graham. He had an off year this year, but to me, he does get his efficiency has never been crazy. He's kind of like quickly where his 3-point shot is very high up there, and then his field goal is like close to it. He's like that.
Right.
But
Mhm.
to me, he was like LaMelo coming in kind of ruined his chances. Like he
Give
just
me,
won Most Improved the year before, and
Right.
then he had that happen. It's kind of weird. So
give
I
me
Right.
think if he gets
Kendrick
a better
Nunn.
situation, like continue on, he'll be better. I
I
wouldn't
take,
mind him at all, because
I take,
he's not a bad playmaker either. Like
I
this year
take
he didn't
Kendrick
do as
Nunn
much,
over.
but last year he was actually pretty good.
So before I bounce, so this
Pretty
year,
good
are
compared
we
to his
gonna overpay for a player this year in free agency?
No.
Oh, someone said
No,
Kendrick Nunn too.
No.
I don't think so either, bro.
I think that I think the front office is going to drive the fans crazy by being responsible. I think the front office is going to be so responsible that it's going to drive cats like State of the New York Knicks podcast insane.
Nah.
Right.
I want them to be responsible. I want them to get
Nah, I know. State. What I'm saying is when the rumors start about Colin Sexton to New York, I already know you're gonna lose your mind. Give them what they want.
Yo, I'm telling you right now, if I hear like because you know how it is with the Knicks, especially because we were hearing De'Aaron Fox in the summer this offseason, but if we hear a certain star connected with the Knicks are interested in, all of us are gonna go crazy. Like we
Yeah.
can't even
I
lie
think I
about
posted
that.
on Twitter that Bugs Bunny was mentioned as a free agent target.
Man, if you don't get out
Right.
of here.
A reliable source. A reliable source.
And yeah, and he was gonna solve our point guard problems.
Wait, who's
Right.
Bugs Bunny? Am I bugging? I don't know.
Yo,
Did you
guys,
say?
I'm out, man.
Eddie C, you the man, bro.
Thanks a lot, fellas. Yo, this was great, man. It was a good night. That cat Amir was fire, man.
Yeah,
Shout out
man.
to you, Stay. Shout out to you, Dukin. Talk to you later,
Peace out.
Freezy. I'm out,
All
bro.
right.
Peace.
Yeah, man. Hey, Eddie C. So it's Amar.
Hi, bro. I'm all. Hi, fam.
All right.
Hi, man. Peace out.
Well, I'm so
All right.
I'm so
Yeah.
confused.
Yeah, man. Hey, man. Yeah, it's crazy.
With all due respect, though, I gladly take Kendrick Nunn over Devontae Graham.
Hey, State. What I'm saying though is this: when a rumor mill starts saying that Colin Sexton is interested in coming to New York, you're gonna be like, damn the torpedoes. Yeah, forget all the draft. Give Cleveland what they want for my guy. You know what I'm saying? I come on, bro. Don't sit there and say you're gonna be like you gonna keep your cool and be like,
Do the
what you
right
do?
deal.
Yo, let me. Hey, turn your camera off, bro. Yeah, what you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing, bro? If I could have reset this camera just now, State, I could. You be, yeah, you can't, yeah. Demonetization, bro. You gotta think about that, man.
My bad.
Yeah. So, but so when it comes to giving people what they want for giving Cleveland what they want for Colin Sexton, the asking price might be a little bit too rich for our blood. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I like Colin Sexton, but then when you start talking about 2, 3 first round picks, a player,
Oh yeah,
all this
no.
stuff, yeah, man.
But you know that's how the price is going to be.
Right.
Like coming into that, you know the prices for whoever it is that's like doing as good as they are, even if it's on a bad team.
Right.
You know the asking price is gonna be high for someone like who like the only player they have good on their team is except they have Garland, which is the actual I actually think is nice too. But if they do land in a top pick and they have to make a decision, one of them is gonna be gone.
Hey, State, if you smoking, bro, if you smoking, I'm gonna just ask you to do it off the camera.
All right.
All right.
Nah, I'm not.
Oh, okay. No. We good. Just But anyway, dude, you're gonna be in the same situation, bro. When the rumors start about us potentially trading for De'Aaron Fox, you're gonna be like, yo, give them what they want.
Oh no, I wouldn't, cause I know my limits for a trade. Like I'm
Okay.
not willing to give a lot of people. Like I'll be happy with Dame, but the only way I want Dame is if it's keeping both our stars, cause I don't see him wanting to play with a RJ and Obi just on their own, and then with Randall.
Right.
To me, those scenarios don't make sense. It's like if because I know right away that if we're interested in De'Aaron Fox and if they're trying to trade him, they're asking for a whole load of money, a whole
Right.
load of assets.
Assets.
And I know
Right.
I'm only willing to do a trade if it's a fair trade.
So
Nothing
what's
over.
so what's fair? What's fair in your opinion?
That's the thing. I don't know. Like I don't know what these teams really deem our players valuable. I don't know how valuable they deem them, because we definitely deem our players in a value, like they're valuable, and how they are in a different way compared to the others in the front offices. Because like yes, we can say that Knox is trash, but he definitely has skills that could be unlocked by another team per se,
Right. Right.
that they can feel like they could give like a second round pick, for example, for him or whatever,
Right.
and then they could play with like the Magic could do that, whatever, any team.
Right.
I really don't know what is fair for De'Aaron Fox, because that's their max player. So you
Right.
got to give a load of assets.
Right. Right. So what I would say though, what I would say is this, and I know y'all are like, come on, man, why you keep beating the drum about the draft? What
No,
I would
you could keep saying it, because I'm fine with going through the draft. Like we don't need to rush so much, because we already skipped steps. Like we
right.
don't need it. The only thing that is concerning with that is Randall, because he's the one that's getting that's the oldest on
Right.
our team that we're building around. Know what I mean? Like, so if we get a
Right.
really young player, oh,
Right.
he's unreported most money. Yeah, if
Yeah.
like Randall is the whole thing about it. Do you commit to Randall? Do you not commit to Randall? That's what it's all about. Because if you trade RJ for Damian Lillard, you're committing to Randall, and then you get a
Right.
window, right? You get a 5-year window.
Right.
I don't want a 5-year window,
I
and
tell
I
you.
know like a lot of older fans will be fine with a 5-year window, just because they're reaching their older years, so they want to see us win and be in contention. But it's like,
Before
if
we
you
die.
think about it from a team, yeah, basically, which I don't like. I mean, that's a fair thing to have an idea of, but it's like, if you think
Right.
about it from the team perspective in general, you don't want to do that, because you want to be
Right.
good for a long time.
Right. I tell you what, y'all bear with me. I want to do an exercise real quick. It'll take about 10 minutes, right?
I bet.
So the thing is I want to go through this. I want to rebuild the team through the draft, and I'm not going to take all night. I just want to do this 10 minutes, right? Rebuild. So right, what we'll do is look at the draft, but not this year, but say 10 years ago, which gives us a window in how the draft works, who went where, and how being patient in a draft can help your team be successful, right? So 10 years ago good? That's a good enough.
Yeah, tell me which year of the draft, and I'll search it up.
Okay. So it's 2021. Let's do the 2011 draft, right? And
I
say
bet.
the Knicks pick at 19, 21, 32, and 58, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the
Tobias
2011 draft.
Oh, that's a
Right.
good one.
Tobias
That's a good
Harris is 19.
Right. And so Tobias Harris went number 19 in that draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. All right. And say at pick 21, we're on the clock with all the names that have not been picked yet are the decent names: Reggie Jackson, Norris Cole, Corey Joseph, Jimmy Butler.
Two.
Boyan.
Can you imagine if we drafted Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler? And then at 32, with all the picks behind 32. So who came after 32? After 32, you had Chandler Parsons, you had Davis Bertans, you had, that's about it, right? Etuan Moore, maybe.
Oh yeah, Etuan Moore is still playing right now. That's it. Isaiah
Right,
Thomas,
and
660. Yeah.
and Isaiah Thomas. So we could have. So think about it. We could leave the draft with Tobias Harris, Jimmy Butler, Davis Bertans, and Isaiah Thomas, right? Do y'all feel like that would have been a decent draft?
Yeah, but
State, do
Yeah,
you feel
but
like
at the
that'd be a
time,
decent draft?
yeah, I definitely see where you're going. It's like at the time you look at these players, it's like all
Right,
the
right,
players
but
you legit don't know how they're gonna be and who they're gonna become.
right, right,
It all depends on how
right,
they try and development, coaching, every single thing.
right. But the thing is though, is that a GM took a chance on that player, not knowing how they would turn out. Right.
Like a boomer
That's my
bust. Yeah.
point to the draft picks. Right, right, right. So like we wouldn't have been able to get. Okay, so let me. So the players that were picked before us are names like Kyrie Irving, Enos Kanter, Tristan Thompson, um, Jonas Valanciunas, Bismack Biyombo, Kemba Walker, Klay Thompson, Alec Burks, Marquise and
Derek Williams
Morris,
was nice too.
Marquise, yeah, Marquise and Marquise Morris, Kawhi Leonard, Nikola Vucevic, Amon
Iman Shumpert
Shumpert.
to us.
Right, right. So think about it. Now, when you look back at that draft, right? When you look back at that draft, you'll say, "Well, we had no idea how good this draft was going to be," right? But this is us just taking a random look back at a draft that happened 10 years ago, right? Just a random look, right? At a draft that happened 10 years ago to this year. This is the 10th year anniversary, right? That's enough of a
Yeah.
sample size to see if going into a draft, is it worth taking chances on guys that may be available, right?
Hmm.
And so this is what I want to do, right? So if you use Eddie C's strategy of using Mitchell Robinson, the 2 first-round picks, and something else to move up to 10, right? If you look at all the names that came behind 10, would it be worth it? Would Klay Thompson have been worth it? Would Kawhi Leonard have been worth it? Would Vucevic have been worth it? By trading
No,
up
that's
to
why
number 10?
I like our 19 and 21. And I think
Clay is definitely worth a trade up and
Right.
go out.
yeah,
Right.
it's like the 19 and 21 and 32 gives us a lot of leverage.
Right.
We could
Right.
we
But you saw
like we
her.
don't
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, man. I'm over there.
yeah, I know yeah, you're saying that you saw who won before. Yeah, that's definitely like I think we try to trade for that lottery pick if it has to be like 19 and 32. I think could potentially get you into that lottery somewhere. Or if you want to trade both first.
So who went at 14? Marcus Morris. Would 19 and 32 be worth Marcus Morris?
No.
Would it,
Simple as that. No.
But it would have been worth it for Kawhi Leonard, who went 15.
Yes.
Yes.
Right. So what I'm getting at is with the draft picks, man, is that before we say no, I don't want Tobias Harris, Kawhi Leonard, Davis Bertans, and Isaiah Thomas in exchange for Dame Lillard, I say at least explore it. Right? Because we legit would have left that. Think about this. Tobias Harris, Jimmy Butler, Davis Bertans, and Isaiah Thomas. Would you trade that for Damian Lillard?
Yeah.
You would trade Tobias Harris, Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris and Jimmy Butler, Davis Bertans, and Isaiah Thomas for Damian Lillard.
Yeah, I would.
I would not.
Nah,
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't trade. I wouldn't trade Jimmy Butler straight up for him.
I would.
that's an all-star and a fringe all-star.
Right.
For Dame
And a former top 5 MVP candidate.
Right.
Tobias Harris's and Jimmy Butler's come a dime a dozen. A Dame, that's a once in a every like 3-4 year point guard.
Right.
Like you gotta give up the pieces for that.
But you're killing two positions with two all-stars basically, because Tobias Harris is having his best year in a while.
Right.
For one position.
And if Isaiah Thomas wouldn't have gotten injured, Isaiah Thomas may be up there with Dame Lillard right now, bro.
Yeah, he was good.
Not even him just getting injured, but them trading him for Kyrie, like they did him dirty.
Yeah.
That's how you know that like that just shows you loyalty doesn't matter for anything in the
Hey,
NBA.
Hadouken, can you look up this list? Go to the history of number 19 overall draft picks
I got you.
in NBA history.
Right.
I think that's
Hey,
I'm gonna just go through the drafts because you could just switch through them, and I'm gonna just tell you the ones that were there.
hey, hold on. I got it. I got to use the bathroom right quick. Hold on before you do that.
I got a question. I got a question for you, real quick.
Uh-huh.
How do you feel about Duncan Robinson?
Yo, that's mad funny. I like Duncan, yo. I like Duncan. I know he's disgusting on defense, but we got a scheme that we could hide him in. I like Duncan. But I don't know, like he's not my type of.
I really just like I like him too, but it's like I don't want to pay him 20 mil.
Nah, I ain't paying him 20.
Like that's crazy to me.
He too one trick pony-ish for me.
Yeah, me too.
He don't do multiple things. Don't get me wrong though, like I'm not paying the high fan because I seen what that Davis Bertans contract looked like, and I'm kind of good on that on those type of contracts. So I'll take him though. I'll take Duncan Robinson for the right price.
You know what a lot of people haven't been talking about? Will Barton.
Will Barton's cool. I like him.
I would take him.
He cool. I like him, but he's 31 coming off an injury.
Yeah, he's 30. Yeah, but he has a player option.
Mm-hmm.
But I would be interested.
It depends. It depends on who we got at wing. I really want to know how the lottery shake out. Once I know how the lottery shake out, then I'll kind of.
Yo, you got 10 days.
Oh,
that the draft lotteries in 10 days. We'll see what spots everyone is up to really see if we could trade up or do something like that.
Yeah, because as soon as if I see OKC fall back in the draft, boom, I'm on. I
feel like OKC is gonna go up. I really feel like they are because they want someone to be with Shea probably.
But then again, you got to think about it like this: like if they move up, that means Silver was tanking. Like they was blatantly tanking. I think Silver gonna give Houston, the Timberwolves, and Detroit 3 of the top 4 picks.
I hope they don't give the Timberwolves the pick.
Oh, you better be prepared, buddy.
I hope so.
Yeah, man.
Oh, all right, you got that list though, bro?
Yeah.
Let me
all right, so
list them off.
2010 was Tobias Harris. I mean, 2011 was Tobias Harris. 2012 was Andrew Nicholson.
Can you start from earlier than that? Can you start from?
Yeah, I could start. Just tell me what year, and I'll go back there and then go to now.
Start from 1990.
All right, bet.
Mm-hmm.
State, you need 30 years?
Yeah, you need
because you want a sample size. I need a sample size.
A sample, bro. A sample.
But the last 10 years, it ain't really it's not a good sample at the 19.
You want the full platter, bro. You trying to get the entree. You don't want a sample. You trying to get an entree.
I'm gonna go to 2005.
All right. Just give me the best name.
I don't know these names, so you guys are gonna tell me. Hakeem Warwick.
Oh, he was good. He was decent.
He's okay. Yeah, he was okay.
Quincy Doobie.
He stunk.
All right, so that's 1 for 2, I guess.
Mm.
Then they got Javerson Crittenton.
No, his name is Javaris Crittenden.
Javar.
Yeah, he was the backup point guard for Gilbert Arenas in Washington.
Oh, that was the kid that got that into
the gun charge. Yeah, the gun
charge. Okay. And then they got JJ Hickson.
Damn,
he wasn't that bad, right?
That's 1 for 4, bro. Keep going.
Oh, was he that bad? Oh. All right, okay. The odds are looking good right now. All right. Jeff Teague, not bad. Okay, I know that. Avery Bradley, not bad either. Tobias Harris.
That's cool.
Andrew Nicholson.
Not trash.
Sergei Karasev.
Not in the NBA.
Gary Harris is not bad.
Right.
Injury prone, but he's not bad.
Right.
Jerry and Grant.
That was us.
That
That
was
was
us.
us. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
So,
Malik Beasley. Malik Beasley is nice.
he cool. He cool.
Then John Collins.
He cool.
Then Kevin Horter.
He
Damn,
cool.
bro. Wait, that was the Hawks back to back getting both of them at 19. That's crazy.
That's crazy. That's
Okay,
dope.
no, it's looking like the last 5 years that the 19 picks have been good. Okay,
So,
now then Lucas Simonik. No.
yeah.
Mm,
See,
Yeah.
see, I haven't heard an MVP.
And then Sadiq Bey. And Sadiq Bey is nice too. I wanted Sadiq Bey. So it's four out of 5 in the last 5 years. I'll say that. But
right.
other than that, it's been
It's been See,
Yeah.
now Freezy, that's not a good percentage, huh?
Right.
But from recent years, it is. From recent years, it is. From the last 15, no. But from the last 5, that's an 80%. 80% hit.
But you
And I
can't.
like
But
that.
you can't just go by the 19 pick. You have to go by 19 or later, because you can pick anybody between 19 and 60, right? So to give you an example, Jimmy Butler was picked 30, right? If we pick a Jimmy Butler at 19, would you be upset?
Hell no.
Right. That's my point.
Yeah, so like here, 2005, Rajon Rondo was after. Kyle Lowry was after at 24.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
They
That's
got
what I'm
PJ
saying.
Tucker, Steve Novak.
Right.
Yeah, they got names like that.
Right.
But it's
Right.
always so random that it's like looking back, you're obviously gonna say that, but in the look of it, it's like they take a chance on the person, and then if it all pans out,
now can you
you
do
are
the 21st pick, please?
21st. I got you.
Yep.
I'm gonna go back 15 again. All right. Rajon Rondo.
Oh, that's
Wow.
nice. That's a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's a good one. Daquan Cook.
He was cool.
Mm,
He was cool. It's 2 out of 2.
Ryan Anderson. Wasn't
He
that
was
good?
good.
He was okay.
he was good. He was good, man. He was a good scorer for a long
Yeah,
time.
he was. He was way ahead
Darren
of his time,
Collison.
yo.
Darren Collison was I think was good, especially on the
Yeah.
Pacers. I think he was good.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
cool.
He started at point guard,
Yeah.
next to Westbrook. When
Oh, yeah.
Russell Westbrook was the shooting guard, and Kevin Love was the power forward.
He was
And
cool.
I don't know who this is. Craig Brackens.
Nobody.
Nobody. He
Yeah.
trash.
I'm looking after them to see the names. Hassan Whiteside, Baylisha, Landry Fields, Lance Stevenson.
Landry Fields. Oh my God.
Yeah, I know
Just-
Landry Fields that was us that got him, so it's good. But yeah, after him, that's who they had. Then they had Nolan Smith.
Nah,
Trash.
he was
But that's a good percentage though. That's a good percentage.
Yeah,
to
this is
hit
the
on
Jimmy
that
Butler
21st
draft.
pick.
This is the Jimmy Butler draft.
Keep
So
going.
you know who's after that. Then they have Jared Sullinger.
Jared Sullinger.
He was good.
Yeah.
He was just injury. He had a back injury, but he was good.
Yo. He was
Then
good
they got
in
Miles
college.
Plumlee after that in that draft. They had Thomas Sadaransky, Jay Crowder, Draymond Green, Chris Middleton, Will Bart. Oh, this draft was kind of stacked in the late round. In the second round.
This sounds stacked.
Yeah. This is all they had. I don't know if Darius Miller's. I don't know. Yeah, they
No,
had a
man.
pretty stacked thing where wait, that's wild. Yeah.
Keep
Okay,
going.
2013. 21 they had Gorgie Dang, who's been solid, I think.
Yeah.
He cool.
Then they and in that draft they had Solomon Hill, Mason Plumlee, Tim Hardaway Jr., Reggie Bullock, Rudy Gobert, Andre Roberson,
Yeah.
Glenn Rice Jr. Oh no, that's not okay. Wait,
That's a role player draft. That's a cool
Yeah.
draft.
Yeah, I don't see. To be honest, that draft wasn't crazy. That I'll give a pass for that draft. That draft was not good.
But there was talent. But there was talent there, though.
Yeah, but I don't. The second round was kind of like didn't pan out. I would say
Yeah.
no one really panned out in that second round. Then they have Mitch McGarry.
Nah, he wasn't.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, he
They
wasn't.
had Rodney Hood after Shabazz. No, Shabazz wasn't that good. Clint
Injuries.
Capella, Kyle Anderson, Joe Harris.
Ooh.
Spencer
back to
Dinwiddie, Jeremy Grant, Glenn
Ooh.
Robinson, Jokic,
Ooh.
Dwight Powell, Jordan Clarkson. This is the
Right.
second round, by the way. This is like crazy.
Oh
Right.
my God.
Yeah, that was a stacked second round.
That's the Clee Anthony early draft, right?
Oh, don't remind me. Yo, I thought he was gonna be good, Freezy. Yo, I swear to God.
Yeah,
I
that
thought
was,
he
yeah.
gonna be good, bro.
Yeah.
Y'all remember telling my mans, I remember arguing like, yo, Clay Anthony, yo, he gonna be good.
Oh yeah,
bro.
yeah. He was picked at 34 and Jokic was at 41.
Yeah.
But they still had Spencer Dinwiddie. They could have picked Jordan Clarkson. Oh, and we got Thanasis at 51.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Then they have Justin Anderson,
Yeah.
21.
Eh.
After him, I see Bobby Portis. Right after Rondae Hollis Jefferson, Montrez, Cedi Osman, Willie Hernan Gomez, Rashawn Holmes, Josh Richardson, Pat Cunningham.
Fringe role
Yeah, that's
player.
basically. I mean, the percentage so far is looking kind of good.
Nah, the percentage is good on that 21st pick.
DeAndre Bembry.
Yeah. He's still in the league, right?
Yeah, he's
a Warrior.
He was on the Hawks. I don't know what he's on now.
Didn't he get traded for Alec Burks? He got traded for Alec Burks, right?
Did he?
I think so.
I know. I'm pretty sure he did. Yeah. Okay, but after him, they had TLC. They got Furkan Korkmaz, Pascal Siakam, DeJounte Murray in the first round. Then they had Zubac. Was Check Diallo good? I don't know.
No.
Malcolm Brogdon. Gorgie Niang is on the Jazz. I know that. Yeah, nothing much in that either. All right, then they have Terrence Ferguson, who we just cut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me cut in real quick.
Go ahead.
Before you keep going. It's alarming to me, the 19th and 21st pick, because you have yet to tell me an MVP or an all-star or a perennial all-star with those two picks. Jeff Teague,
Yeah, there hasn't been any all-stars with those picks.
But keep going.
All right, but this is 2017 now. This one is okay. So after him, right after him was Jared Allen, and then after him was OG Anunoby.
Wow.
And then Kyle Kuzma is Tony Bradley was there. Derek White, Josh Hart, all the first round. Then they have who do they have? They have Semi Ojeleye, Frank Jackson, Thomas Bryant is not bad. Dwayne Bacon is not bad. Damian Dotson we got. Then they had Dylan Brooks after Damian Dotson.
Oh my
That's
God!
crazy. I didn't
No,
even,
he didn't just
literally the pick right before.
Right.
Like, I don't blame them crazy for those late picks just because it's so like random in the second round. So random in the second round.
We picked Damian Dotson over Dylan Brooks.
Yeah.
Right. That just show you what.
And they went to the same school too. I didn't even know that. You should know if they went to the same school.
Oh,
it's kind of like Kevin Knox and Shea when you know that. Yeah.
That Kentucky team had Kevin Knox, Hamidou Diallo, Jared Vanderbilt, SGA, Grant, whatever his name is, for the Celtics.
Grant Williams.
Yeah. Man, yeah, they had a button there, yeah. Hey, State. So State. What I'm saying is, bro, with all these second round picks, you can build the team that you want out of the draft without going and paying for a guy. Because we were picking 19 and 21, and so think about it. We could be picking 19 and 21, and Jimmy Butler can be on the board. Would you pass up Jimmy Butler because he a 22-year-old senior?
But we won't know that, so that's the tough thing about it. It's always so like risky.
Right, Jimmy Butler got passed up because he was a 22-year-old senior.
Yeah.
That's if he was 19-year-old Jimmy Butler with the same talent, he would have been a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
But he was a 22-year-old senior when he got drafted.
And after that too, they have Monte Morris at 51.
Oh,
That was a good pick by Denver. Bro, these picks haven't had anything crazy too. They had Grayson Allen, 21.
Yeah.
After him, Chandler Hutchinson, he's okay. Aaron Holiday, Anthony Simmons, Wagner, Shaman, Robert Williams, Jalen Brunson in the second round, Devontae Graham right after. Mitchell
Right.
Robinson, we got good. Wait, that's crazy. I didn't know that Mitchell Robinson got drafted right before Gary Trent.
Yeah.
Sacramento. I did not know that.
Yeah.
And
I
then they got.
wanted.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I wanted Gary Trent at that pick. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Yeah,
I ain't even
at
hold
that
you.
point, I wasn't even watching the draft. Like the only thing I knew about was like the first 10 players, probably 15.
Right.
Like I started paying attention to like the prospects, like probably
Right. I
2
wanted.
years
I
ago.
wanted. I wanted Gary Trent because our shooting guards look like Courtney Lee,
Oh yeah,
um,
that was bad.
Damian Dotson. We look
Yo,
terrible.
we really picked Damian Dotson over Dylan Brooks, bro. I'm
No, that is
still
crazy.
dumbfounded by that.
Oh, and they had this was kind of a little. They had Jared Vanderbilt, 41, Bruce Brown, 42,
Yeah.
43. Justin Jackson's okay. They had Hamidou Diallo,
Yeah.
Anthony Melton, Svi Mikhailuk,
Yep.
Shake Milton at 54.
Yep. I wanted Shake Milton too.
Yeah.
He was in the backcourt with Damian Dotson, right?
I don't remember. They run.
Nah, I
What do you
think that
mean
was
when?
Dylan.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah. Shake
that
went
was
to
the
SMU.
that was.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So,
Brandon Clark at 21. That's good. I like Brandon Clark.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
After him, Grant Williams, Darius Baisley, Ty Jerome, Nasir Little. Jordan Poole is not bad. Keldon Johnson is not bad. KPJ is not bad.
Right.
Now it's the second round. They have Nicholas Claxton, who I like Nicholas Claxton.
Yeah.
Kezia Capallo, Carson Edwards, Bruno Fernando, Cody Martin plays.
Those are the
Daniel
Celtics
Gafford was
picks.
the X factor for the Washington Wizards.
Yeah.
Bol, Eric Pascal, Isaiah Roby, THT versus Vegas. We got
Eric Pascal's a player, bro.
Yeah, he is. Jalen McDaniels.
I wanted him.
I did too.
Yeah, I wanted. Is he bro? Does he have a? Is his brother the other McDaniels that was in the last draft?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I wanted him this year. I didn't know about him the last year.
No, State wanted him. State was killing us one year about that kid. Every 10 tweets was that dude. You're like, come on, State.
Do you wanna also do after I'm done with this the 30 seconds?
Yeah, let's do it, man. It's just alarming because you haven't said one MVP or one.
Yeah, because I want to see if there's anyone at 32. Because the 58, I'm not gonna look because I've been looking at the 58. The 58 has been trash. I haven't seen anything good. But okay, the last 2020. 19 was 21 was Tyrese Maxey. I thought Tyrese Maxey. I still think Tyrese Maxey. I think is better than Quickly because he's better at driving. And in general, I rather have had him. I don't know at this stage. I mean, they're kind of similar in a way, except they just do different things. But okay, so it was Tyrese Maxey, then R.J. Hampton, Quickly, Peyton Pritchard, Jaden McDaniels, Malachi Flynn. This draft was really deep. Desmond Bain, Tyrell Terry, Theo Maladon, Xavier Tillman, Tyler Bay.
I like Tyler Bay, bro. I like Tyler Bay.
Yeah, he's getting no burn though.
Yeah, I like RJ Hampton too.
Bro, me too. In the draft for our 23rd pick that we traded to 25, I was like praying we got RJ Hampton.
Me too.
And then we traded it, and my heart like fell down into my soul, and I was so broke down. And then I was like, oh, we're probably doing this because we're gonna pick him at 25. And then they picked him at 24 to the Nuggets, bro. I was so pissed off.
Yep.
Because I wanted, in the draft coming in, I wanted LaMelo. That was the first person. And then, to me, I wanted Sadiq Bey. One of these, Sadiq Bey, RJ Hampton, Tyrese Maxey. That's basically the top three, or Desmond Bain. It was those four. I wanted one of those. And we got none of those, but it is what it is at this point. It's what it is.
That's alarming, bro. Like, you haven't told me a Hall of Famer.
Oh, they have Kenya. I like Kenyon Martin Jr. too. Kenyon Martin was picked at 52.
Did you see the game we played against Houston and he blocked? I think he tried to block Obi Toppin dunk.
He did block him.
Yeah.
So you didn't see how he blocked Rudy Gobert, bro. He's blocked a few players like that. I wish we got him.
And he's
52. 52. I did not think he was going 52. I thought he was like a 30 something.
Yeah.
Like, I was hoping he got drafted. Like, I was sitting there, I'm like, bro, how is Kenyon Martin not drafted yet? That made no sense to me.
Yeah, and hey, so Coach Z, Jimmy Butler, in my opinion, is a Hall of Famer.
He is.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a lot. We named a lot of guys. So the point that I'm getting at, the reason why we're doing this exercise is because some Knicks fans feel like you can't draft your own talent. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a lot of people are like that, but like when it comes to a trade that you think is very necessary for your team's success right now, like, you got to give up some of them. You can't give up the farm though. You can only take certain players.
Right. And so my point is, the reason why I even looked into doing it is because when we went back 10 years, just randomly went back 10 years, we could have came out of the draft with Tobias, Jimmy Butler, Davis Bertans, and Isaiah Thomas. Just what we're picking at right now.
Gilbert Arenas was picked 30th.
Bro, I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. You got to value your draft picks, bro. I'm telling you, like, can you imagine coming out of this draft with say, Scotty Barnes, Trey Mann, and Kai Jones?
Then somebody either quickly is off this roster, or Obi is off this roster.
Nah, bro. Because think about this. Every year, the rookies, your young guys get a year older. So now RJ Barrett, Kevin Knox, Frank Ntilikina are not rookies no more, bro. They are young veterans. You know what I'm saying? They young vets now. You know what I'm saying?
So in the event, all right. So I could get an understanding where you're coming from. You're saying this as like Thibodeau is going to relinquish power in the locker room from the vets, and he's going to transfer it to RJ and the young boys because they are now seasoned and already have a year under Thibodeau.
Bro, what I'm saying is Colin Sexton is going into his fourth season.
Mm-hmm.
Colin Sexton is going into his fourth season. He's not a rookie no more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He can become a leader, a presence in the locker room now, because you don't have to be old to be a leader. You have to be a leader to be a leader.
That's a fact. It's natural. It's just natural.
Right.
Some people don't. Some people got it. Others don't. RJ just looked like a natural leader. I could see a bunch of young boys following a guy like RJ. RJ looked like a hard worker. I read articles about Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox trainer says he's a hard worker. He's working hard. Right. Randall's a hard worker. So that's in the culture. So if you bring, if RJ Barrett and those guys is the leaders next season, then I could see it happening. So that means that quickly got a bigger role.
Right.
That means you probably
Obi has a bigger role.
Yeah.
RJ has a bigger role. Yeah. Yeah.
You let Burks walk. You let Bullock walk. Alfred walk. Nerlens walk. Now Mitch the starting center. Now you give Mitch the power. Like, all right, bro, it's time for you to use your mouth, get active. You see what Nerlens did out there. You talk. You're getting paid now. You're a grown man now. You're not a rookie.
Right. Mitch is going into his fourth year, bro.
Yeah.
Mitch is going into his fourth year. And so now it's like the thing that you and Hoodie Kev say. Now these young guys You don't bring in all these journeymen, blase blah, to disrupt the development of young players. Now these young players start to take the lead. You know what I'm saying? And then also to go with that, you get cheap talent so that when you say lose in game 7 of the second round, now when there's a young guy that you can go after to get you over the hump, like a De'Aaron Fox, you ready. You got everything in place already. Now all you got to do is spend some assets to bring in the final piece. And De'Aaron Fox will be, you know what I'm saying? I'm leading the parade down the parade route. All of us drunk, all of us tipsy, you know what I'm saying? Celebrating, except for Hadouken Sharon. Don't ever drink, bro. Don't ever. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. Wait till you're 25, bro. But anyway, I'm telling you, I can see Fat Joe leading us down the parade route, bro. I'm saying this is crazy. So anyway, I got to get out of here because I got to do. Should I do a Knicks Morning Drive in the morning? Should I do a Knicks Morning Drive at 8:45?
Yes, sir.
All right.
If you need to, yeah.
Yeah. So all right. So what time is it now? So it's 3:36.
Yep.
I'm gonna see if I can do it. I'm in Charlotte. And I may have to take the missus out to breakfast, but if I can.
You're at a hotel, right?
Yeah, hotel
Yeah, I
Wi-Fi.
can tell. I see the background.
Yeah, and then my internet is slow too. So, but anyway, I'm glad we had this discussion. Man, y'all brought up a lot of good points, and some of them we had to argue over. But don't take it personal, bro. It's just sometimes you got to not go at a person, but question where a person is coming from to get a better understanding of what it is that they're trying to tell you. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man. So I'm gonna get out of here, man. Hey, thank everybody. Amar, if you still watching, yo.
All right.
Hey, yo, and we'll holler at y'all later, man.
All right, man. Have a good night. Peace out.
Yeah,
All right, y'all. Peace.